Welcome back to Nerdrotic, everybody. It's Friday Night Tights. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And tonight is a very special night because from parts unknown, Admiral Susan Layton is turning 21 today, ladies and gentlemen. It is her birthday. Everybody wish Susan Layton happy birthday. 21, so young. To be that young. You get to drink now. That's great.
Yeah. That's great. And, to be an admiral at this age is just incredible. I never thought I would even graduate high school, and look at where I am now.
Well, yeah, that you beat out Tilly in the command program.
Hey.
You both had to sprint, and although she tried to cheat, you beat her. And everybody's... Yeah. Well, you didn't watch the episode. So she's in the command. Tilly's in the command training program, and they have her running a half marathon inside the ship, and she beats like 3 people that look like they run for a living.
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty funny.
But not Mikey Spock though, because Mikey Spock's great.
Mikey Spock invented running. She did. Everybody's saying happy birthday. We've got Tarka Jedi, Nordry, DJ Beto. What's up? How's it going? He says happy birthday. Joseph, Penn Farm Girl, Tina Beebe. How's it going, Tina? KZ Bay, Burn Cundy, Kimber D, Nitrium, the 51 Project. Is that like Area 51, man? Talking my language there. Philip A. Demick, Lloyd, and Conroy Pa. Mage Greywolf. All the regulars are here. Penn Farm Girl's here with the wrench. I'm sure Mary Ashmead is in there too. Maybe Cato Roan. Has anybody seen Cato? I haven't seen Cato in a while. Man of Action. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Mr. Trill. Thomas Preston. Gary Akers. That's a hell of a first name. And you spell it right. Thank you for the 1 R, because if it's 2 R's, it's Gary. Okay.
Gary.
That's straight. It's Gary if it has 2 R's. All right. Well, we got a heck of a night tonight. We got some news. It's Reboot-o-rama because it's a day that ends in Y. So we have 50 reboots announced today. We have some CBS All Access stuff we got to talk about. We got to talk about, Susan, I just told you this, but I'm going to tell it to you again. We research for the show, believe it or not. I know, don't laugh. Stop laughing. I can hear them laughing. We actually do some research for the show. So I went to one of my favorite websites, Bounding Into Comics, and I was going to see what they've got going on. And I'm like, hey, look, there's an article there. It says Star Trek Discovery might be canceled. I'm cool. So I clicked on it and I saw my video. I'm like, hey, that's cool. Yeah. I had no idea. Right on. So thanks, guys. That's a good site, by the way. That's a very good site.
It is.
It tries to be very shill free, and I like that. Kind of like 1428elm.com, kind of like Bleeding Fool. These are good sites. I mean, I know I give entertainment media a lot of criticism, and I think it's well deserved. But there are many good people out there that are just trying to inform the masses and not sell you out.
And that's important.
It is important. I mean, if you're going to sell out, sell out. I mean, like for something good. Like I could. You have my respect for that. If you sell out for like a couple $100 at it's not even a Blu-ray without even with no digital copy. It's like, come on.
Look, I'll sell out for top shelf tequila. I'm pretty here.
I mean, I like fresh avocados. Yeah, you might get. I mean, like a big bundle of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Trader Joe's Swedish swimmers. Oh my God, I probably shouldn't even talk about my addiction. They're like Swedish fish, but they're crabs instead of the Swedish fish, and they're in a blue bag. Oh, they're so good. That's my jelly baby because I actually hate jelly babies. I can't. So Movie Fanobi for some reason can't stay again. $1.99 can't stay wishing Susan of the night. Birthday joy.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Fanobi.
Susan of the night. I don't know how I feel about that.
A vampire or a hooker? Like maybe a vampire hooker.
A vampire hooker for sure.
There we go.
And you drive a limo for a living. I'm formulating this in my head. I'm just spitballing here, folks. Okay.
Yep.
Jaeger bomb. What is up, Jaeger bomb? That is a Doomcock Legionnaire right there. Jaeger bomb. Thank you for watching this crap so we don't have to. They're giving Last Jedi a run for their money. They certainly are, Jaeger bomb. I hope that STD is announced 100% dead soon. I certainly do too. I wish I had some news on that front. I've got something that I don't know if anybody else has caught that, and they have. Good for them. There's that I'll bring to you a little bit. That kind of leads more into, at least it backs up my second source for sure. Who says no decision has been made, which says it all right there. I mean, I'll start with this, Susan, as your birthday wishes keep coming in. All hail Doomcock, by the way. We love Doomcock. That CBS All Access has should even if they lose their complete ass on this, should renew it for season 3 for a couple reasons. And it tells you, and it tells you how bad off the show must be if they're even considering it, because number one, the one thing that matters more than money in Hollywood is power. And if you have egg on your face when you're starting your streaming network and you just canceled a show on your brand new 5-year-old streaming network, that looks terrible, especially when it's Star Trek. So like they almost have to and operate at a loss.
Well, and also you have to remember too, they have other high profile people coming on. So how would that look to Jordan Peele, who's rebooting the Twilight Zone, who's set to go April 1st, if they pull the plug on Star Trek Discovery? It'll be like, uh-oh, did I make a wrong decision here?
Yes. And also The Stand. They got Stephen King's The Stand, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's going to, they're having, oh boy, the guy who's doing SEAL Team is doing that. So they're not getting, I guess that show's pretty good. I don't know. They gave The Good Wife. They announced The Good Wife is getting a season 3. So, or The Good Fight, sorry, which is, by all means, if you're into that kind of show, people say it's a good show. Actually, Doomcock says it's a good show. So yeah, I mean, I believe him. I do. I just dropped something. God damn it. Sorry. They have to. So if they don't, it must be doing horribly bad. So August of last year, folks, they CBS All Access announced they had 2.5 million subscribers. That's all.
That's not a lot.
No, it's not.
For a major network that's been around since television began.
Hulu announced they had 8 million. Was it 4 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago, Hulu had 8 million. That's considered good. I think Netflix has something upwards of 40 million. But when you think about the fact that PewDiePie has more subscribers than a broadcast network, is hilarious. It's hilarious. He has technically more advertising power than CBS All Access. Not technically, he has more advertising power than CBS All Access.
Him and Markiplier.
If you think that there's sometimes there is justice in the world. There really is. And subscribe to PewDiePie. We don't want him to lose it. 104. I'm sorry. Thank you. 140 million for Netflix, not 40, 140 million. There's no way D Plus and CBS All Access anybody's going to catch that. Now, Amazon, I don't know if Amazon, if you're a Prime member, I guess they count that as a subscriber. So they must have somewhere up towards that too. I mean, they must, just from the Prime deal, because it's a good deal. I hate to say it. It's a good deal. What were we talking about last Friday? Our first Amazon purchases, was it DJ Bowman who was I think we did ours on the same month, because my first Amazon purchase was February 9th, 1999. And I bought a Bill Hicks. I bought a Bill Hicks CD and Charles Berlitz's The Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, that's a great book.
Gary, remember what you said about Doomcock yesterday? He had a 5-hour live stream. Good God, hail Doomcock. Yeah, he does. That's a normal live stream. That's a day that ends in Y for Doomcock. Yeah, I thought his head would explode on that one for sure. And mine did. I just finished my review video. I was going to put it up prior to this podcast, and then I didn't have time. So it's going to go up after. Or maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. Maybe I want to release it in the morning. I'll leave it up to you guys, whatever you guys think. If you think I should release it after the podcast, I will.
When you were mentioning the streaming services, it's funny because everybody that's finding out things that they want to see that are going to CBS All Access, do you know what their first reaction is? Oh, shit, now I got to subscribe to them. Not good.
It's not. Well, and listen, they're riding high right now because of the AFC Championship football, but they also offered a week for free, I believe, and that shit's all gonna change. And it sucks because there's a couple shows coming up that I would love. I mean, I pay for CBS All Access for this channel. I would never, ever in a million years pay for it if it wasn't for the channel. Not even for Twilight Zone, not even for The Stand. Which, I mean, that sounds cool as hell that they're going to do a Stand, I guess, TV series, like an ongoing TV series. I think that'd be really interesting. But again, it's current year Hollywood making it, so maybe it wouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah, I worry about that. I don't know if they'll be faithful to the book because the 90s version wasn't really.
Kega Rogers, I watch the Orville after I watch Star Trek Discovery for a palate cleanser. I can't. It really worked this week, by the way, because the Orville episode was so good. It was so. I heard some people out there bashing it, and all I've got to say to those people is, if you want to hate a show because somebody you don't likes it, that's weird. That's weird. That's all I'm going to say on that one. But yeah, I love it.
That was happening.
That happens all the time. Yeah,
wow.
That happens all the time. That's what I'm kind of worried about with The Expanse. That's actually been brought up in the chat before. That like, do you think are you worried that you're going to give The Expanse a bad name because you're critical of Doctor Who and Star Trek, and people just hate it because that? I'm like, well, if they're that petty, and I have that much power over them, wow, holy shit. Bill Hicks' Revelations was the best. I like. Yeah, was it Revelations? Yeah, I think that is his best. The Orville, watched episode 6 last night. Great episode. Lost it when Isaac is in it is tidy whities, squids, McCracken. When he was, why isn't my dinner ready yet? Are you on your period? It was terrible. Oh God. Oh, and you know what? Mark Jackson doesn't look like his voice at all. He looks like this. Yeah, it's very strange.
He looks like a kid. I was really amazed when I saw him. I didn't know what to expect, but wow.
Yeah, it was definitely bizarre to see that. Oh, yeah, we got some more super chats here. Okay, so Dean Heiss. Heiss, $5.99. CBS All Access ain't getting my money anymore, so you get it. Oh, thanks, Dean. Well, hey, I appreciate that, and they don't deserve your money the way they've been treating the fandom. That whole oh my God, yeah, we're gonna go over a positive review tonight, and it's gonna be an IGN review, and I don't feel bad about picking on IGN a little bit. They're big, they can handle it. Plus, they're kind of I think they're like patient zero of online shilling. Anyway, so yeah, and they used to be really good. Ugh, it sucks. So yeah, no, I don't want to say boycott, but maybe you want to save your money, spend it somewhere else. Go. I don't know. What can you get for $5.99? Go subscribe to DC Universe. I mean, Titans is pretty awful, but at least you can see like Batman the animated series and stuff and read comic books. So yeah. James Coleman, Australian, $5. HBO shows that eye patches can get real popular, especially in Australia. I hope you get what I mean. HBO shows that eye patches could get really popular in Australia. It's totally going over my head, James Coleman, but give me a minute, okay? Because I just started the show. I've got a lot of things going through my head. So, but I'm a little slow to the take because semi-naturally blonde. So, but thank you. HBO shows, iPad. That's going to be racking in my brain now because it's probably something I should totally get. Strawberry Hellcat, $10. The Picard series should start with Jean-Luc Picard waking from a terrible nightmare about a non-existent starship called the Discovery. Yes. Yes.
I love that.
Well, they've hinted what they're actually going to do. I mean, in the short trek, they've got the Discovery 1,000 years in the future parked and empty. So that's what's going to happen to it. At some point, they're going to have to abandon ship
because they're canceled.
Probably. Here's the deal: when you bring on a Pike and a Spock, and Anson Mount is completely man, I don't want to say the word, but it rhymes with duck. He's a little ducked out, we'll just say, in the series, and he still outshines everybody in his very short time on the screen. Last episode, he felt really out of place in that episode because that episode felt like it belonged in season 1. Referencing Lorca made sense to me, and correct me if I'm wrong if people know this in the chat. I know they reshot 5 episodes. This had to be one of the ones they reshot because it was a total mess. Like what did Tilly have to do with anything? I mean, this command training program and she's got a spore. She's got one of the spores from the spore drive infecting her, and it turned into a big black booger that was a floating booger. But it materialized as one of her junior high school friends as an adult. So she never saw her junior high school friend as an adult, but she's seeing her as an adult. So yeah, it makes no sense. This show makes no sense. And sometimes I just got to realize that I'm probably putting more thought into it than the writers ever did. So maybe I should.
Sounds like it.
Lloyd, how are you, Lloyd? $5. Unfortunately, STD and shows like it will continue until they lose too much money. Agreed. Then they will try safer shows until the PC fad fades. Lloyd, and I believe it is fading. The problem is that it takes a while for stuff to get to Hollywood. And I've said it before, Hollywood is the place where trends go to die. So right now we're in the 2015, 2016 trend. And when they start getting punished for it, I think if Marvel makes the mistake with Captain Marvel that we think they are, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, that review that we're going to be going over, that said a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, Lloyd, you're right. You're right. Until they start like really taking it in the shorts, and they're not right now. But CBS All Access. The other thing I was going to bring up is they probably have investors. They're still at the very early stage of their streaming network, so they've probably some investor money to play with. It's not like CBS is living paycheck to paycheck, and I do believe they would take it seriously in the shorts, just so they don't have a-holes like me and Doomcock doing 24-hour straight live streams because they canceled Star Trek Discovery, because that's what we will be doing. And almost to avoid that, I could see them going, okay, is there any way we can shift some budgets around? Maybe that's why there was layoffs at Paramount, so they could get Star Trek Discovery to have a season 3.
To avoid you and Doomcock.
Yeah. Right? We would tag, because you could only do 8 hours on a live stream, so we would just tag team. All right, you go. It'd be funny as hell. Leonard Nimoy was Spock season 1. Leonard Nimoy is and always will be Spock. Period. Oh man, I miss that guy. I miss that guy so much. He was such a childhood hero. He's I'm going to repeat some stuff from the video that's coming out. He's one of the greatest characters created in storytelling, in, I can't say literature, and fiction. Period. Gandalf, Spock, Jesus, okay, don't get offended. I'm just kidding. He's right up there. Okay. Luke Skywalker, Captain Kirk. Spock is as popular, and I think with a lot of people, he's more popular than Kirk.
Yes, and that was a source of friction with him and with Shatner back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird how they were enemies for a while and then they became like best buds, and it's kind of cool. So with Spock, the one commonality, at least with I'm trying to think, all of it had to be a girlfriend of mine. You had the prerequisite was you had to like one of three things.
Oh, here we go.
You had to like comic books, and I don't mean like love them. You had to like not hate them. Okay, so comic books, Lord of the Rings, or Star Trek. It had to be, and Star Wars. If you threw Star Wars in there, that's cool. So one of the most common things with all of my exes is they all like Star Trek. That's why I was like, Star Trek's always been for women, because all the women I knew loved Star Trek more than anything, more than Star Wars, more than anything, and they all love Spock. They all freaking love Spock and Picard.
I mean, I like Spock. I mean, I do like Spock. I like Spock, but I don't know. I'm a Kirk lady. I like Kirk.
I love Kirk too. I did too. I mean, you're not going to get any argument out of me for that. Kirk's my I'm TOS guy. I like TOS the best. But it's not like I hate any I do now, Star Trek Discovery. Even the Enterprise, I was just indifferent on.
Me too.
Like, yeah.
But honey, can we go back to the days where the biggest argument was who's better, Picard or Kirk?
Yes, I would love to be talking about that. Someday we will get back to that. Somebody asked me that in the live chat the other day, and I was like, God, wouldn't it be great to talk about, like, is the Master coming back in Doctor Who? Yeah. And, like, honestly,
the Master be, and
I would even go so far as to say I'd be interested in a Snoke theory at this point. Like from the Force Awakens. Force Awakens is awful. It's terrible. But at least like the Snoke thing was interesting. That was like the only interesting thing I could find about that awful movie. And yeah, they blew that. But yeah, I'd love to be, it's, Captain Jack is back, and like, is he going to sleep with a machine or, a big green alien first? That's what I want to talk about. I really do. Torchwood, something like that. And someday we will be
talking about that crap. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And that's why, I finally got fed up with it, Susan. It's because I didn't talk about it for the longest time here, but I got sick of it. I got bloody sick of it. Thank you, Peter Davison, by the way. Australian $5, and hello to your mother. James Coleman. Australia $2. Pirate says what?
Again.
Hang on. I'll get back to you, James. John Smith, $1.99. Thank you for the $2 Australian dollars, by the way, James Coleman. You're awesome. Have you read any of the 7th or 8th Doctor novels? I have not, John. I'm trying to think. No, I've only listened to Big Finish for 8th Doctor. I know there's a 7th Doctor novel out there that I want to read because they actually based Family and Blood on it. Or the novel where he goes, with the fob watch and stuff. I need to read that book, and I have not yet. And I know that's a 7th Doctor book, actually. So, but I will, John. I love the Doctor Who books. I've got tons of them, but a lot of them are just modern. I've got some like really old ones and then some new ones, but the in-between stuff is where I'm lacking as far as books are concerned. But thank you, John Smith. I appreciate it. Ray Santiago, $4.99. Still haven't seen Doctor Who till this day. When Capaldi says, "Doctor, I let you go," I turned off the episode, and that's where it ended for me. Although I didn't love his run. My next video, I will be talking about him and Moffat, and they will be slightly defensive. They will be slightly defensive. Although Moffat's really partially responsible for the muckery we're in.
I think what Sipowicz used to say on NYPD Blue, I think Capaldi got left holding the bag of crap.
Yep. He did. He did. I agree with you, John Smith, $1.99. Just scrap Doctor Who TV show. Go back to the great novels. Yeah. Honestly, this will be a good time. They were throwing around an idea of doing a movie. Honestly, scrap the show. Here's the time you do a movie. You do a couple movies, and then you Doctor Who belongs on TV. It's not a big cinematic thing, but if you want to do a movie and you want to bring back, I don't know, David Tennant and just make buttloads of money, yeah, go ahead and do it right now. Do the Meta Crisis Doctor, or just go back into his timeline or something like that. Whatever, they could do what they want.
Meta Crisis would be really interesting for a movie.
I would love for them to return to that. That's why they put it there, so they could bring him back sometime and he can age. I thought it was a great idea. And then they don't revisit it, and they don't bring back Captain Jack, and it's just, yeah, the people in charge. That's the problem. That's the problem with CBS All Access, with Disney and everything. Once you get second, third hand with away from the people who really created the show. Now, Doctor Who, it's a long way away from its original creators, but it still was in the hands of fans. Like, even, Stephen Moffat, say what you want, the dude was a fan. Okay. Peter Capaldi was a fan. Russell T Davies was a fan. And fans aren't always the best to be in charge of stuff either, but they just seem to get it right with them. And, Chibnall, I think
they know what they're doing. They know the show. They love the show. Now, sometimes, like you said, they don't make the right decisions, but I'd rather have somebody that comes at it from a place of love than somebody who comes at it from a place of, I don't even know the canon and we have to take everybody through Venn diagrams.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that when you have to have canon camps for Star Trek, that's bad.
Very
bad. Like, listen, that was buried in an article that was old, and I was like doing a video on something else, and I saw that, I did that, cartoon, oh, what the hell, and I followed down the rabbit hole of the links and stuff, and found that Michael Chabon tweet talking about canon camp. I don't think he was supposed to talk about it, to be honest with you.
Why would you? That's kind of admitting, like, hey, I have this job, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Not wise.
Yep. So Adam Wolford, $5. Hey, Nerdrotic, it's only 7 days until The Expanse premieres. Well, it's the premiere of season 3, which has already been out. Season 4 has not been released yet. Also, I hope there is no SGW bullshit in it. If there are other sci-fi series is there another sci-fi series to look forward to? Other than The Expanse? Not off the top of my head that I could think of. There's like some semi-decent stuff out there. Altered Carbon, when it returns to Netflix, yes, I would definitely check out that. If you haven't seen Altered Carbon, I would go watch season 1 on Netflix. As far as The Expanse, and yeah, some people have actually thrown out that it's SJW. It's certainly not. Now, the creators are very political on Twitter and stuff, and I mute them, actually, the actual writers of the books. I enjoy their books. I don't enjoy their tweets at all. So I just simply don't look at them, and I'm fine. I'm totally okay. As far as the show, no, I wouldn't steer you wrong on this one. It's very evenly, it's political, believe me, but it's a completely different world. All right. So it doesn't inject real world politics in it, because that would make it a lame story. And the people who are in charge of this are old Star Trek vets, Farscape vets. These are really fucking smart people who are involved with The Expanse, and the show is just smart. And I don't mean to say it like, because I hate that pretentious crap when you hear like, this show is, it's the thinking man show, or it's, like the Rick and Morty stuff. Like, you're just not smart enough to understand Dan Harmon's, alcoholic insane mind. No, it's just an alcoholic insane mind. And it's okay humor. I like it. It's all right. It doesn't blow me away. But The Expanse does, because it is that smart, and it takes the time to be scientific enough to where it's absolutely believable. Now, I don't know if they get everything right, but it feels like they do. And I think you'd really enjoy it. So check it out. Tell me what you think. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever watched The Expanse, Susan?
I just started watching it not too long ago. A little bit behind the curve. A lot going on.
Oh, I think a lot of people are, and that's why myself and other channels like Doomcock are trying to spread the word on it. And not that they need our help or anything like that, but I like to give it. what I can. Wish more people would watch Counterpart. Hey, Adam, Counterpart's a good sci-fi show. It's on Starz, though. It's behind another paywall. So if you're, and I don't know if you're willing to pay for another paywall, but if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get a Starz edition. It's not that expensive, and just get it for like a month and watch Counterpart. And I think you would really, really enjoy that. Trust me on that one too.
Chinballs had a question for you. He wants to know your price for selling out to become a SJW.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
Become an SJW. You know, I would try to fake it for a little while for add 10 mil. 10 mil, but like lump sum, non-taxable. But then I'll be honest with you, I'd probably be able to fake it for like 6 months, and then I'd completely blow the deal. So what happens if I blow the deal? Do I die?
6 months. Gary, I don't think you can make 6 months.
No, I couldn't do it.
You get twitchy.
I'd try. I mean, it's $10 million. Nah, I couldn't be. No, that's the thing. That's you know, like you know, especially when you get our age and stuff, you get your that's why my argument in my video is like my politics haven't changed. So I don't know how I could be okay with watching Doctor Who 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and I'm not now. But it's me who's changed, not the show. No, it's the show that's changed. And you know, and part of the reason I'm going to show you the video is like all the contradictory articles from people supporting the BBC and Doctor Who saying the show's not political, and then it's the show's always been political. So is it not political, or has it always been political? Is it a children's show, or is it a communist manifesto show?
It is whatever it is for their purposes.
Yeah. No, this somebody put together an insanely detailed article, and they put down. Somebody shared it with me on Twitter. It was like 100 points. Like they go way back, and they go through every episode, and they pretty much jump to every conclusion possible. So like when Ace walks on the screen, it's a feminist statement when she speaks. I mean, they really get to that conclusion. Like her beating the Dalek was some form of anti-patriarchy thing. The episode with the giant spiders was environmentalism, when it was actually probably more of a protest episode for is it DDT? Remember that poison that back when we were kids that they were worried about? I think it was DDT or something like that. It was supposed to go on crops, but you know, turns out it killed everybody, not just the bugs. And, it was probably something to do with that, but they lead to these crazy conclusions. And when they try, it's dishonest. It's a dishonest argument because the show hasn't always been political. It makes it sneaks in some stuff through subtlety, but it isn't outright political. Jodie Whittaker being picked for the Doctor was a political move. It wasn't a move. It wasn't a genuine move made for storytelling. It was a political move. Okay. And that's part of the video. It was a deliberately political, had nothing to do with like leading up to the story, making it a natural fit. And yeah, please save Stephen Moffat mentioned it. Capaldi mentioned it in passing once. And Matt Smith talked about the Mighty Corsair changing. Yes. So there's only been a couple instances where people, there's a way to lead up to it, but let's wait for the video. Monday morning. You can see the coffee starting to kick in. Kaltenbach. The 24 hours of Le Mans style of streaming. Yes. Yes. Oh, that would be fun. Thank you. He's got a big number 13. Lucky 13 there for his avatar. I like that. Daniel, $10. Doctor Who Season 6 Night Terrors. Conflict resolves by the boy's father accept and love him, even though he is an alien. Mom not in the episode. Hungry Earth, mom is the villain. These stories impossible now. Could not agree more, Daniel. Good luck getting a father in an episode, much less a good one. But yeah, the Hungry Earth has a legit good dad reading his son a story. Yeah. And then the mom, you know, she kind of, and I bet you Stephen Moffat got crap for it. I bet you that's one of the things he got crap for. Silhouetted animator, $10. Light should have met darkness at the end of The Last Jedi. The rebellion is wiped out due to their own stupid mistakes. Rey joins the dark side, and credits. That would be a great cliffhanger. Yeah. As I've said before, our chat is more creative than Rianne Johnson. Yeah, no. I listen. That movie it's so far gone. They cannot correct. It's to me anyway. There's no way they blew their one chance. And that's really one of the biggest blunders in cinematic history. So I know Disney's all on top and king right now, but you know what they might be remembered for? They got the Beatles back together, but then they had them play separately. That's basically what they did. They got the Beatles back together, but they went out separately on stage. Freaking morons. Tim Riggs, $5. Davies was peak new Doctor period. The end of time was amazing. Absolutely, Tim Riggs. I watch it all the time. Moffat put the show on its knees. Chinballs has the shotgun at the back of its head. Agreed. Moffat had a decent start. He did. 11th hour is like a great episode. I love it. But season 5, as much as I like it, a little choppy. Season 6, a little more choppy. Dumb ending, dumb resolution to the whole. It just dumb ending. Okay. I mean, like, he tried though. At least he tried. But after the 50th anniversary, correct me if I'm wrong out there in the chat, but I do believe that the BBC changed, like the head of the BBC changed 2012, 2013. Somebody new came in, and that's when they started hearing the diversity hiring stuff. That's when it started to go down. Plus, Stephen Moffat rage quit Twitter because he was getting accused by a bunch of people on Tumblr for being sexist, probably for that Hungry Earth episode or so. And it's probably 10 people. And then he wisely quit Twitter. Because it's as a writer, I don't know how you could spend any time on Twitter, unless of course you're in the press. But creatively, total time suck. Listen. One of my videos is late because I spent 2 hours on Twitter trying to figure out a thread. Like there's this giant thread that I'm being added in.
I hate when that happens.
Like I have no idea. Like people are asking me to do things, and I have no idea what they're saying. I can't even get to the original tweet. So. Yeah, I'm going to address that in a minute. Because like really, I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. Peter Davison, standby transporter room, koala waiting transporter. Oh, koala. Yes, Peter, I have to get you an address. Yes, we're getting a PO box. We're going to get a PO box. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the 10 Australian dollars. You really don't have to, but thank you. It's so cool. Adam Wolford, $2. Have both seasons of The Expanse. Have the books. The books are so good, Adam. They're so good. So good. Yeah, season 3 comes out February 8th. Man, I might do just a retro review on season 3. Oh, hey, Alex Klutzman is here, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Klutzman. Canadian $5, you cheap ass. You're like $1 million. I'm just kidding. What do I need to do to make you like disco? And suggestions to improve my writing and advice on being friendly and and anything else you'd like to share. And okay, Alex, first I would start with and being nicer to people and going to writing school, and hiring a better writer and stop being a writer, and get rid of Michael Burnham completely. Make her the Red Angel. Screw it. She's the Red Angel, and she's fixing the timeline, and she disappears at the end.
She disappears.
Make Anson Mount the star of the show.
That would be good.
Yeah, like he is the focus and star of the show, and the crew. You fix the crew. Okay, so you know what the crew is, right? Now I'm sure everybody's gotten the gist now. It's the sex swaps. It's a sex swapped crew. So the entire bridge is female, except for the black male communications officer, and of course Captain Pike now. And they were only forced to use Captain Pike. Believe me, that was not their intention from the beginning. So it's a completely sex swapped crew. So they sex swapped and ramped up the progressive on the show that invented progressive TV shows and did it well, presented it well to where everybody could watch Star Trek. Both sides love Star Trek. And now they don't. Same argument for Doctor Who. It used to be a show for everybody. It is clearly not now. And they see, they don't want that audience. That's I mean, it's deliberate. After I watched the last Star Trek, it's effing deliberate. They don't want us. So maybe we should oblige. At this point, I'm like, maybe we should. Maybe we should just go, okay. We'll see how that new audience, we'll see if that new audience keeps you around for 50 years. And it's my guess they won't keep you around for 50 days. So
no, they'll find something else and move on.
But I like the music disco. I'm okay with it. Actually, I like some of it. At the time when I was a kid, I hated it, but that's because my sister hated it. Well, yeah, my sister was like full on Haitian. You know, she was like metal. Disco sucks. I had a disco suck shirt when I was a kid.
But now we can't have that because if you try to sell that, you'll get, yanked from wherever you're selling it.
I did. So I'll just sell it on my own website. I can't yank my own. Well, I guess I could. Never mind. It's too personal. I could yank to my own website if I wanted to.
Oh, wow. That's a whole other
Ray Santiago, $4.99. By the way, Alex Klutzman. Honestly, I wish you a great retirement. Please move away from Hollywood. You know what? I hope I want you to keep all your money and just go away. Simply go away.
Idaho's nice, Alex. You would like it. You would.
Ray Santiago, $4.99. Favorite writers from Big Finish are Mark Platt, Paul Cornell. I love Paul Cornell. And Dan Abnett. I get my Doctor Who fix from the audiobooks. Those are all three of those guys write the comic books too. I met Paul Cornell at Comic-Con 2 years ago. One of the coolest people. We sat in, God, man, like an hour. He didn't have he was doing a signing. I believe it was Mile High when Mile High was still going there. And he was doing a signing and the artist was there and we sat there and talked for an hour. And I paid for like 5 books and the artist just kept drawing. So I have a bunch of blank covers that the artist just kept drawing. I paid for one and I think he made me like 10, just some headshots and stuff and super cool, dude. Yeah, that was good times. Really charming dude. John Smith, $4.99. 7 to 8 Doctor books are truly fantastic sci-fi novels. A list is too many chairs. Hit me up if you want a list. By the way, Human Nature is the book you want. Yes, Human Nature. I was brain farting. John, I'll hit you up. I want that list. Because I kind of want them vintage. I don't want like new printings of them. I want the old books. I like my dog-eared, old-looking stuff. Thank you, Eric Hawk, $2. Jake Woke Picard will be Trek's final coffin nail. It will. If it even happens, Eric. If it even happens. Now let's get to the chat. Thank you guys for all the super chats. You guys are awesome, man.
Dr. Meatball says, who's the biggest Mary Sue in the Voyager? Harry, Kim, or Tuvok?
Oh.
Wow. Let's think about that one.
Tuvok. No,
Harry Kim, I think.
Harry Kim.
Because Tuvok's just doing, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
I just like saying Tuvok and Chakotay. Me and my friend Dog used to always do that. We go Tuvok and Chakotay. And Chakotay. What that show is just one of the biggest. I liked it, by the way, all the way through. I liked it, but a big missed opportunity on a lot of stuff there. They could have got a lot. They just got safe at the end or something. I'm not really sure.
But here's an interesting thought. Why is it in that world Catherine Janeway was likable, but yet you have Star Trek Discovery where Michael is not?
She's written that way. Okay, well, here's part of the reason. And you know this, Susan. It's honestly, this might not be a popular opinion. It's not Sonequa Martin Green's fault at all.
No, it
At
isn't.
all. It's the writer's fault, and it's the male writers who are afraid to write females right now. And that's part of that. That's exactly what happened with Doctor Who as well. So they're being diverse. They're bringing in more diverse people to act, which is fine, well and good. But you need to write them with complexity. They need to be, you know, some of them need to be assholes. Okay, some people, you can't just have a show of everybody's awesome and yay me, and you know, positive affirmation every 2 seconds. It's effing fan fiction at that point. And that's what Star Trek Discovery is. And then the only complex characters are, you know, like Georgiou, who's just freaking badass and good at everything, you know, and decides to give up all the power in the world to go be a lowly spy, which is the dumbest thing ever. And then she acts nothing like she does in season 1, but that's beside the point. The writers are writing in fear. I'll just make
If you're writing, if
they're
you're writing
in
fear,
fear.
it's going to suck. Everything you do is just going to turn to shit because you can't write from a place of fear. And if that's the way everything is going to be, then, you know, entertainment we know, at what we used to know, it might as well just get the coffin and just bury it.
Yep. So yeah, like Eric Hawk, it might be the nail in the coffin for entertainment. And they've set up these crazy rules for themselves and they can't adhere to them. So they just write super safe. And the only person they can write nasty is white dudes right now, which is fine. Again, I don't care. Okay. So last night or 2 nights ago, the thing I'm stuck on is Georgiou said tiny male brains. Now she was talking about Klingons, but she was still saying tiny male brains. You could not say that about the other side. And the only thing I'm saying is you should be able to say tiny female brains. You can say tiny male brains all you want. There are, believe me, there's tons of tiny male brains. There's also tons of tiny female brains. And keep it fair. That's it. Spread the love. And no, don't get rid of them. No, we've already gotten rid of enough. We've gotten rid of humor. Nothing's like there's no freaking sex in anything anymore, unless it's like a super indie movie and it's mostly, you know, yeah, it's like I don't even want to go down that road, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kills art, and that's what we're seeing. It's like we're seeing this.
It's killing genre TV. I mean, every time we turn around, something in a niche form of entertainment is canceled.
Well, that's kind of the norm, Susan. I mean, that's something I've experienced since I've been in and around the business. Like, it never lasts long because it's too expensive. Makeup, special effects are too expensive, but they keep going back to the well because we're the best fans. We're by far the best fans because we buy merchandise, and that's what, you know, like, yeah, Big Brother and the Good Fight and stuff get more people watching, but you can't, there's no, you know, Good Fight action figures and you know, and coffee mugs and shit. And there's no, I mean, there's not a lot of, they might exist, but like nowhere near, like, there's not bars closing down to watch the Good Fight, but there's bars across America closing down as much like Super Bowl level to watch Game of Thrones. So yeah, like that's why you go back to genre. But it does, a lot of it gets canceled because it's just expensive. That's all, you know. Battlestar Galactica.
Even the ones that are practical effects get canceled though too, where they're, you know, where they're more cost efficient. So it is cyclical. I get what you're saying, but it just seems like with the current climate, there really is no happy medium when it comes to genre television because you're always going to piss someone off.
It depends on the fan base, you know. With genre, there's genres like the hot thing right now, so that's why we've got just a lot of it. There's tons of it, but a lot of it's half-assed. And yeah, that's the one thing that a lot of the new people don't understand about fandom is we have a lot of unrealistic expectations. That's part of fandom. We want all of our stuff to be the greatest thing in the world. Is that too much to ask? It just needs to be the greatest in the world. And if you don't shoot for the stars all the time, you know, we're getting another Batman movie, folks. We're getting another Batman and another Batman movie. I heard different stories. I heard he is going to adapt Batman Year One, which I hate that, or he's not, and he's possibly going to do the Long Halloween, which would be beautiful. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We're getting another Batman movie, and did you know, Susan, that we have not seen Batman yet on screen?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know we haven't because we've discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
We've had many incarnations of him, but never close.
Never the real Batman. And not, I mean, not even close. Not even freaking close. Batman the Animated Series is the closest thing to the real comic book Batman and the tone of Batman. Batman's not grounded. Everybody thinks because he's the superhero with no superpowers that he's the grounded superhero. No, he's not. He's the weirdest superhero I mean, he came from this really bizarre time, the 30s, the Dick Tracy villains. I love Dick Tracy, by the way. Love the comic, and Mike Oeming's going to take it over, and I'm very happy about that. But he's got weird villains, and they're God, Jeff at World Class Bullshitters was talking about this. You can introduce a Mr. Freeze now, and you're far enough away from the Arnold stigma, and it's not goofy. There's so many superheroes out there now that it wouldn't look goofy, and he's got a lot of goofy but badass villains. Everybody wants to bring up the Joker and Ra's al Ghul because they're kind of grounded. But I want a Mr. Freeze because it's a tragic story, and it's a Batman villain. It's a true Batman villain. Batman's crazy. It's for lack of a better term, it's batshit crazy. It's way out there, and it's that's why they haven't gotten it right yet. They've gotten close. Like Nolan's gotten the closest, of course, and those are really, really good. But those are Elseworlds. What if Batman lived in our world? That's what they are. But Burton's Batman's nowhere near as close, and they can't get the costume right, for F's sake. Say what you want about the Affleck Batman, that's the closest thing to an accurate costume that we've gotten.
George Clooney.
I always forget about George Clooney.
Sorry to bring that up.
On paper, perfect Bruce Wayne at the time. Like if it wasn't, but it didn't work out that way, did it?
No.
Liam as Ra's al Ghul was great. No, I'd love Nolan's. Well, the third one, I kind of half like it. Okay, I mean, I love Tom Hardy. But yeah, we've had so many Spider-Man movies, and we've had so many Batman movies, and we really haven't seen the true Spider-Man or true Batman on screen. And I know there's Tom Holland fans out there, but that's Ultimate Spider-Man. That's not Spider-Man. That's Spider-Boy. Spider-Man is a mid-20s to early 30s adult, has been for 50 plus years. So yeah, we haven't seen that Spider-Man yet. And we might not. We go through a whole era of superheroes, but goddamn, they got Tony Stark right. They got Steve Rogers right. They got Thor right. So good for them.
But why do you think they got those guys right, but not Batman?
Kevin Feige.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Feige. That guy could run for president and win hands down right now. I wonder if he would.
It'll be interesting though to see what happens when James Gunn gets started with DC though.
Yeah. Let me get to the super chats and we will talk about that, because that is a great transition there, you pro. We're gonna get caught up in some super chats here. Okay, Elliot Nelson, $10 is Star Trek at the point where the new garbage has retroactively ruined the old shows. Is Doctor Who at the point? For me, it's harder to watch the older shows knowing that what's inevitably coming up. Elliot, that's a great point, and that is the danger they're in. I will tell you what has done that already. Star Wars. I now watch the original trilogy knowing that Han and Leia's kid grows up to kill him in the worst manner, breaks Luke, and then the kid wasn't even worth it. He's not even like a likable character or a scary bad guy. And the greatest trio in the galaxy were defeated by a little snot-nosed millennial with a laser sword. Yeah, Star Wars is ruined for me retroactively. Like, that's why I gave away all my stuff, and I'm like, I'm done. Doctor Who's a different story right now. Now, Elliot, they said they're going to mess with the lore, though, and I'm surprised they didn't. I think they just wanted to introduce Jodie this year. They're going to really do some effery, we'll just say, next year. Videoing coming on that.
Oh, God.
Star Trek is doing the same thing. Yes, they are completely screwing up, and we are about to get to Ethan Peck hasn't even walked on the screen yet, Susan, and they've already screwed up Spock.
Spock, God, Leonard's probably turning over in his grave.
William Shatner, has he been saying anything about Star Trek Discovery? He's been awfully quiet.
No, almost all of the alums are very quiet about it. And I think it's because it wouldn't be a win-win situation for any of them.
Nope.
If they came out.
Well, I noticed that with the doctors too. Now, some doctors have, when they're asked, I think Peter Davidson got in a kerfuffle. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you, but other doctors, former doctors, when they're asked, they give the company line, "Oh, she's great. We've always needed," but when they get home, they're like, "God damn it, fucking this is my
because I had the discussion with someone about why. I'm sure that some of the old Star Trek people probably have watched Discovery and are like, "What the fuck is happening?" But I was like, why can't any of them say anything? But then, it was pointed out to me that it wouldn't be beneficial to them.
No.
And that's unfortunate because I'm sure some of them could give some pointers maybe about,
they should be defending. I think their silence says everything. When they're asked directly, they give the company line, and God, that's what I would do. I mean, come on, that's your meal ticket. That is conventions forever. All right. And some of these people, some of the lower tier actors absolutely rely on that money. So they're not going to screw around with that. And I don't blame them one bit. But the fact that they're not on Twitter every day going, "Leave her alone, haters, blah, 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 blah," and joining We Are Starfleet and stuff like that, I think says it all. For one, they're smart. They want to stay out of it. And I think some stay out of it because they're taking the approach that the BBC and CBS and Disney should. We want to make all our fans happy. I don't want to piss any of my fans off. So it's best for me to just stay the hell out of this argument, whether I agree with it or not, because I want to sell my product to everybody.
Right.
But no, the fact that people aren't more vocal now. David Tennant is doing a podcast with Jodie Whittaker. Believe me, I'm all over it when it comes out. If it hasn't come out already, I've been keeping an eye. I think this is the first time I've kept an eye on my iTunes like in 4 years.
I'm interested to know what happens with that podcast. If they'll stay away from any topics and just, be two friends chatting, or if they'll actually get into some things.
I would tell David Tennant, well, he's fine. Okay, he can say whatever he wants. He's not going to piss me off. Here we go. Nope, Jodie Whittaker yet. Olivia Colman. Yep, Olivia Colman. Desert Island Discs. 2005. That's the last podcast he did. So he didn't interview anybody. He just did Desert Island Discs. I'd actually listen to that. But I'm sorry, I'm going to kill my iTunes now. It's probably killing my connection. We're on iTunes, by the way. If you search Nerdrotic, 2 things will come up. Subscribe to either one. It's all right. Player FM for you Android users. I'm an Android user. This is my last Mac, by the way. I'm gonna get a good PC rig. My Nerdrotic Prime, my oldest son, is gonna make me a computer. So,
Nerdrotic Prime.
Nerdrotic Prime. Number 1 son. He's 6'5". He's very tall.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to the chat here. When are the Grand Tour reviews coming? 4 episodes of the new season have aired already.
Oh, you're gonna do the Grand Tour?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I gotta get caught up. Shecky, I'm gonna Shecky, Marsh,
You
Shecky,
know they're in trouble
Shecky,
now.
Martian Green. Um, I I just saw that name. I'm gonna catch up this weekend, and I will let you know.
Well, Gary, they're in trouble.
What they do now.
Well, apparently there was some homophobic banter going back and forth, and everybody's jumping down their throats. They're calling for Amazon to let them go. They're saying their shtick is tired. Yeah, it's a whole
Who's
big
is everyone Twitter?
no, no, the media too. It's not just
Well, that's
Twitter.
Twitter. Blue check marks in Twitter. If so, was it a private conversation?
No, it was on air. It was their usual banter, and a lot of people took offense to it.
Fuck this. I'll listen to it, and I will make. Well, I'm not going to make a judgment. Listen, we've all had banter. Sometimes it gets a little crazy to take these guys' jobs away. God, it irritates me enough to where I just want to pinpoint one person. If we pinpoint one, especially, when there's a couple of, I won't say their names. There's a couple people out there who keep an eye on media people, we'll just say, and
Yeah.
the lives they lead. And it's usually the media guys who usually expose people's who have sultry lives. And then, if you actually put a microscope on their life, they're just as bad. Throwing stones in glass houses. That's what I'm trying to say here. The internet mob. You know what? They could have said something horrible, but my instinct is to not like the internet mob.
Yeah. And it wasn't, in this case, it's not Twitter. Actually, because I didn't hear anything on Twitter, and I'm like on the Grand Tour groups, and I run a Grand Tour site actually on LinkedIn. But I haven't heard anything. Where I did hear it was from the British press, and they notoriously do not like Clarkson.
Yeah, well, I'll look it up later. Yeah, I'll see what it is. But British press, God bless them, can be a little crazy. But I have to admit that when I went over there, I read all those rags, every single one of them, cover to cover, every morning. I loved them.
All those.
They were making fun of the Jeep Cherokee as the LGBTQ vehicle.
Yeah.
The Cherokee? No.
Yeah, and they were saying, what does LGBTQ stand for? Lesbians, bacon, tomatoes. And then Hammond said, this type of vehicle would be best, you should have a pair of chaps maybe without a back portion to them. Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Now look into it. I would say, oh God. No, there's like Subaru would be my guess, not the Jeep Cherokee. Believe me, I live in San Francisco. Well, I mean, if you can, like, there's 9 million Priuses, and then it's Prius, Tesla, and then it's a couple of not Saabs, but Volvos. All the hippies drive Volvos. Oh. Yeah, Volvo drivers, man. Volvos are good cars. They're good cars. Gary, I wish Tim Russ would just tell STD not to live long and prosper, then say Voyager is real diversity and their stupid faces. A random nerd of doom. Listen, they dialed up for lack of a better word, progressivism in a show that didn't need it. It was fine the way it was. And it actually got, what the thing was, they lost the ability to get the message to more people because they used to tell it in a way that made sense, in a way that was balanced, in a way that was fair. It was good storytelling. Now, I mean, it all comes down to talent, folks. I mean, these are just not talented people writing. because you can get really political in something and be subtle about it. And if you're talented enough, you know, like I always point out Alan Moore. They just don't have the chops, and it's because it's watered down. Susan was just talking about this. We're a lot of genre is dying because there's so much effing genre out there. One of the biggest tragedies is sci-fi. That should be a network we should always be talking about. What do? They cancel fucking everything. They're cheap. They're a sci-fi network that's cheap.
Well, you know, Chucky is going there, Child's Play. And the minute I heard that, I'm like, well, we'll have one season of it and then goodbye because Siffy will cancel it.
Yeah, that's not even sci-fi.
No.
It's horror. It doesn't belong there. There's horror networks it can go to. No, they need to have The Expanse. Battlestar Galactica should have gone 7 or 8 seasons. You know, like crap. Firescape should probably still be running. What was Stargate? Did they take out some? Who was Stargate on Sci-Fi? I can't remember now. Showtime. Okay. And yeah, but Krypton keeps on going. And Winona Earp. Yeah, it makes no sense. Now, Happy is on Siffy. Happy is a great show. Happy is a brilliant show.
You think it'll last though?
No.
I mean, if I were a creator, I wouldn't go to Siffy. I would not pitch to Siffy because I would know that my baby would not be cared for and would be off the air in like 2 to 3 seasons.
Right. Oh, yeah. Like bad writing. Can we talk about the Klingon baby head? Oh, certainly we can. You know, I had to cut out, I made that little meme thing for Twitter and I had to cut that out of my video because YouTube will demonetize me if I show it.
Why?
Even because it's a severed baby head. It
Oh.
violates guidelines. So no, they wouldn't pull my video, but they just wouldn't put any ads on it. And even though the company that's probably advertising, at least last week was advertising with them the most, was CBS All Access, they wouldn't allow me to put, even though, did you, M. Wims, do you want to hear one of the arguments I heard? Okay, so my whole point was, oh, look at this family show, and I'm referring to the girl, the lady who played Tilly last year, said Star Trek Discovery is a family show. It's a kid's show. You can bring your kids to it. And I just went, look at this family-friendly show. Where's my Klingon baby severed head pop vinyl? Which, I mean, that's kind of something I'd actually buy if I like the show. But you know what I mean? And so I just was trying to make a point, and somebody came back at me with, it was a fake head. They replicated it. Oh, okay, my kids can watch that now. It was fake. They're all fake. They're not really real severed heads. Even though they replicated it within the story, that was a great argument somebody came out with. It's like, you know, I wonder why I don't argue on Twitter. Joker 79 just gives the random I love Gotham. Gotham's a fun, weird show. Off by itself, it's a fun, weird show. Sci-Fi canceled Caprica. KZB, thank you. And I loved Caprica. Oh, I own it. The quality of writing or lack thereof is quite apparent with STD and Doctor Who, especially when compared to better shows like The Expanse. Farscape is great, DJ Beto. It really is. Killing off incompetent white dudes in the middle of mansplaining. Now that's good writing right there, Mild Cedar. Yeah, not in line with the ideals of Gene Roddenberry. He never would have beat anyone over the head with anything. No. And that's the thing is they're tripping over, for lack of a better term, they're tripping over their own dick, trying to be progressive and cool. And they're not, because it's not any of those things to single out anybody. And especially over and over again, once in a while, there can be a bad white guy. Yes. The only thing we ask is, again, spread it out. Representation. The problem is, this representation is they bring the people in, then they're afraid to write for them. Is this the actor's fault? No, it really isn't. It's actually doing them a great disservice. And I'm sure there are plenty of them that look at the script and go, I am a blank wall. I am a white sheet of paper. I am a beige. I'm a beige couch. I'm like the most bland thing. Diversity, the former diversity in comics, your boy Zach had a great term for it called blandly competent. That's what most of it is now. It's just really boring shite. And it's because there's no nuance. There's no characterization. Nobody could have a flaw. Oh, wait, they have a flaw. Bad father. Can we all say it together? Bad father. It's like give somebody substance abuse. That's an easy one. Have them hooked on drugs. They don't need to have a bad father. Stephanie B, what's up? Good night, Tina Beebe. Good night. It's good to see smiling Stephanie B. Dr. Meatball, the power of math, people. Oh, yeah. My God. And that's another thing about writing, Susan. You know this. In the new writing, a person's smart because 5 characters tell you he or she is smart. They don't show he or she doing anything smart, which is what they used to do.
Yeah. And that's a problem in and of itself. It's like you said, all of this stems to, we don't dislike, see, you have to make this absolutely clear, because everything I see that criticizes people that don't like certain shows, it's always, oh, you're trolling, you're so filled with hate. It's not directed toward the people doing the show, the people that are the actors personally. It's not directed toward whomever is the showrunner. It's directed toward the fact that what they're doing isn't working. The writing is horrible, and you need to do something about it. But instead, you choose to ignore it, and then you choose to go on social media and yell at everybody and say everybody's a troll because you don't like the product I'm putting out. But when the fact of the matter is that what you're putting out is absolute crap. So if you've got a bunch of people saying, what you're doing, they can't get behind it, maybe instead of, getting all your, for all intent purposes, getting all riled up, maybe you should be more scientific and look at what's being said, and maybe try and divorce yourself from it and find out how to troubleshoot. Because Hollywood is famous for, they want to play the blame game. It's like they want to put the blame on somebody else, not them. It would be, I'll tell you, if a creator would come out and would say, like we've talked about this before, if Chris Chibnall would come out and say, look, I get it. I see what you people are talking about. I understand what everybody's saying. We're going to go to the writer's room and we're going to try to make some changes. We're going to try to incorporate things, but that doesn't happen at all. Instead, it's this rancorous, back and forth, and nobody wins. Fans lose, creators lose. And it's very unfortunate.
It is. It is. And then when they dig their heels in, you're not going to win battles against the fans ever. I've never seen one. I've never seen one victory over fans. The only victory you could have is canceling your show or quitting, because once the fan base turns on you, it's done. Now it has to be the entire fan base, but
this is the way it is. This is why they're not thinking clearly. You never want to alienate anybody when you're a creator. Okay, you never want to take a side. You never want to take a stance and make it blatant, because if you take one stance, you're alienating your other client base. It's better to just craft things that are, I'm not saying don't be daring. What I'm saying is don't be so blatantly for one side. Try to get both sides.
Pump the brakes on your fucking Twitter, on everything. I mean, take a time out. Go be creative. Read a comic book. Do something.
Well, I mean, let's face it. And I'm going to say something about my colleagues here. Probably not professional, but I don't give a fuck. I have colleagues in what I do that sit on Twitter all fucking day. I don't know how they write. Well, they don't write. They sit on Twitter. They pontificate all the time with, some ponderous statements about, well, I see there's a reboot here and I feel that these people should do. Who the fuck cares what you think? Go write. That's what you should be doing. Right on your goddamn site. And I think that's what these creators are doing. They're out there on social media instead of in the writer's room figuring out, okay, this isn't working, let's try and do something about it.
Yeah. The critics, oh God, it's not the critics. It's one guy who tweets me always, you for-profit Star Trek hater. Yeah, you're a non-profit Star Trek lover. I mean, you should have a YouTube channel. Don't waste your time on Twitter, where only the same few people are going to see everything. I mean, like, Twitter's a great tool, and if you have a good time on it, that's great. I'm kind of old man internet with it a little bit, so that's it. But honestly, you can get more of your point out if you start a YouTube channel, and yeah, you can monetize it. You could actually monetize your opinion. You're wasting your money on Twitter. You're wasting your time because you can't monetize. I guess maybe you could. Some people do when you have like a gazillion followers, but actually that's what Instagram is, or at least take it to Instagram where you can make a couple bucks. I mean, just sitting there doing it for nothing, especially defending a show you have nothing to do with. Yeah.
What's great about Instagram? Instagram is like, hey, look at this picture. Let me throw this up. This is interesting. It's kind of like social media without a lot of interaction. And that's why it's kind of, fun to go over into that world for a bit. And
Gotcha.
some of the younger stars, you'll find them more on Instagram and less on Facebook and less on Twitter, which is interesting.
Yeah, Twitter doesn't really grow. I mean, it's necessary though. It's absolutely. I mean, it's good for quick. It's good for quick news. I like interaction personally. Maybe that's probably why I've kind of stayed away from Instagram. I like talking to people in the chat and stuff. I think it's great. I have good experiences. Yeah, some people come at me, but God, when was the last time I had a problem with somebody? Can't even remember. And I'm sure they're there, and I'm not seeing it all the time, but it's fine. That's what I said. The whole We Are Starfleet thing. If they can get by the Doctor Who people, God bless them. But right now, I've got Doctor Who people to deal with, and mostly it's positive. It's like mostly positive. So it's great to hear. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say is there's I was part of this big long thread, and honestly, I don't understand where it started or where it ended. So I just want to say to the people in that thread, thanks for shouting me out. I really appreciate it. And I really wish I could meet every single one of you. And if I missed something, I'm sorry. But try to DM me. I can't promise I'm going to get back right away, but I will get back to you. And definitely, if you want me to shout stuff out, if you're another channel or just your Twitter account or whatever, you want me to shout it out. I don't have a problem doing that. I do not require a super chat. You do not need to be a patron. I just have to check it out first to make sure it's cool, and it's kind of in line with what I do here. I'm not like a stickler for a lot of stuff. So unless you're like, I don't know, Satan. And even then, I would take a look first. I wouldn't, it's not a hard no. But you know what I mean? I gotta vet it first. That's all. Tharies, there's a channel out there called Tharies. He's just starting out. He's got a proper English accent. He's doing some Doctor Who videos. They're pretty well reasoned. He's pretty good. He's as with all YouTubers, they got to work the stuff out in the beginning, like I did too. Maybe work on your audio levels a little bit. But if you want to hit me up, I can tell you how to fix that like that. But yeah, check out Tharies. He's up and comer right there. So let's get to another super chat. Here we go. Classic comics. I love classic comics. I just do. Where is the trigger? Never trust an ordinary citizen. Daniel, $5. Batman the animated series has amazing writer for a children's show. Intelligent, yes, it does. Paul Dini, my friend. Intelligent themes and even adult moments that beat anything today. Yeah, Batman the animated series is just one of the greatest television series ever to grace our televisions. Thank you, Daniel, for the $5. You want to say something there, Susan?
Sure. Oh,
No, I thought you were trying to say something.
no.
Okay.
Not at all.
Jaeger bomb, $5. Off subject. There's no off subject here on Friday Night Tights. All subjects are open. Is there any way that the Bat family could see time on the big screen, or is that not possible? I'd love to see the Red Hood. One can dream. That's what I'm talking about, Jaeger bomb. It's like I want to see the Bat family. I want to see established Batman, a fully working Batcave with a badass like second generation Batmobile, bat plane, bat boat, everything. He's peak Batman with Robin. They haven't gone to their dark period yet. They're still getting along. Batgirl just showed up. Say half of his villains are in Arkham, half are not. Have the full on Bat family. You can introduce a Red Hood, just basically adapt the animated series into a film. The template is there. Actually, the people who worked on that still alive. I would ask them to work on it. Forget Matt Reeves. Sorry, Matt Reeves. Nothing against you, bro. But Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, let them have it.
Weren't you sort of liking Titans though?
No, I mean, I like Doom Patrol. I liked one episode all the way through. I liked the fanboy in me likes seeing Robin on screen. Until he stabbed some guy in the nethers with a pair of scissors. But the kid playing Robin's all right. He's all right. It has potential, but right now it's literally too dark. I can't see the screen, and nobody powered up. It was just a bunch of mopey people walking around in their street clothes, calling each other by the first name. Donna Troy was good too. The girl who played Donna Troy was great.
Honor Leslie.
Yeah, she's great. Big fan of hers. Nimble Navigator 62 and addendum. Michael's actress is three-quarter pie. Man, Michael's actress is a quarter. Man, I can't even understand that. You're like throwing math at me. I see pi third. Could you see the chat? You can't see the chat, can you? So
yeah, no, I'm in there, but I didn't.
I'm gonna have to Google that. Live, dude, man, I am not that smart. Johnny Pappas, $2. Thank you though, Nimble. I appreciate it. I'm sorry if you wasted it. I'll figure it out by the time you're probably going, you freaking idiot. And I am. Johnny Pappas, $2.01. May you not end up having to babysit Vok Jr. Right? Yeah. Could you imagine a temper tantrum? Ooh, wait till he hits puberty. A Klingon. I wonder what Klingon puberty is like with two ding-dongs.
I have meant to ask, how did we find out about the double penis situation?
Oh, man. I just bringing that up. I'm glad I didn't release my video because I left that whole segment out. I got to write that down. 2 dicks. Okay. I got to bring that up in my video. How can you not bring that up with Tyler showing up? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they did. So what they basically did was they squished a Klingon into a human suit, a skin suit. So Ash Tyler is dead. He died. He was tortured to death. So they took his skin and they peeled it off and they crushed down Vok into like Spam. And then they injected him in the into Ash Tyler. So he basically walks around, in an Ash Tyler suit, but his essence is Vok. But the problem is he's sharing his brain stem and everything. So it's actually both people, but the only person that's alive is Vok. Tyler is dead. So the Tyler you see is just Vok pining off of some of Tyler's memories and stuff, but it's not really Tyler. So, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Wow. I'm just,
it's it's the 24th century. Just use the goddamn, cloaking thing, that's it. that that Giorgio used last episode. But no, they had to really get in there. And they was supposed to fool the Federation or whatever.
That was something I was noticing when I was reading that article about Discovery and about the social issues and all that stuff. And then I got into the convoluted interpersonal relationship and the soap opera crap. And I was just sitting there thinking, can we just stop with that and maybe dial it down and try and craft a simple story? Instead of injecting all this stuff where somebody's tortured and isn't really what it appears to be. And I mean, I'm not saying that you can't have complicated storylines, but let them, can't they figure out Star Trek first and then kind of progress into that sort of thing? And it's not really episodic. It's like they're doing a soap opera or something on a ship.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I mean, yeah, it's CW Klingon. It's the Klingon Diaries. It was straight up the Klingon Diaries. I even put that in my video. Kush $4.99. The studios love the controversy. It's called outrage marketing. Gets the signal louder than the noise, so products trend on Twitter. I think they're finding, and you're right, Kush, you're absolutely right, but I think they're finding out that is not as good as they think it is. I think they on the surface they're like, man, we're trending all the time. Problem is, Star Trek Discovery was not trending Thursday night. Not that I saw. Orville was. Supernatural was. There were, oh God, one of those old sitcoms that they brought back was. Will and Grace. Will and Grace was. Yeah, there was like 5 shows trending on my Twitter anyway. I don't know if it's personalized for me or what, but you'd think Star Trek Discovery would show up for me since it was the one thing I was talking about on Twitter the entire day. And it didn't show up once on my Twitter. Now it might have shown up for other people, but that tells me everything. So yeah, the Orville's getting 3-4 million people watching it, and Star Trek Discovery is getting 100,000.
Well, we'll never, we can surmise, but we'll never know, because for whatever reason, they won't release their ratings.
Well, I'm going to get to this article right after I read this final super chat here. Silhouetted animator, $5. Supposedly the Batman movie will adapt to Long Halloween, and that is good. That is good. But, yeah, I hope they do it right. I really do. Here's what's going on with DC Silhouetted animator. Walter Hamada is in charge. So what he is known for is bringing in stuff under budget with mass profit. So we're going to start seeing superhero movies that are a little smaller. I know Aquaman was this big crazy fest, but you're going to start seeing like smaller movies. That's why they really went hard on Batman, because they're going to like just have Batman. So it's going to be an adaptation of Long Halloween, but I think it'll be a very loose adaptation, which is a bummer because I really don't want a grounded Batman. I think I've made myself clear on that one. Okay. I'm going to get to this article. Hang on. CBS.
Dr. Meatballs like Sanford and Son reboot starring Mikey Spock and Riri Williams. Oh my. Wow.
I'm waiting for the all-female Saving Private Ryan.
It's probably coming.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of whacks will get together in World War II, and they'll have to, save one of their own from behind enemy lines. Yeah, I can start writing that.
Okay, here's another one of them articles. I'm going to read to you. This is the business side. I mean, this is kind of like Midnight's Edge territory. I don't really do this stuff, but it's interesting. All right, CBS All Access sees double-digit young skewing subscriber growth. Let's see if they give us any numbers. CBS All Access has seen double-digit growth during the past year, momentum that got a big boost earlier this month from the combination of the second season premiere of Star Trek Discovery and that AFC Championship game. Mark, we're just going to say Mark, President and Chief of Operating Officer of CBS Interactive, said Wednesday during a Television Critics Association press tour in Pasadena, California, that CBS All Access logged more than 50% growth in total subscribers, as well as total streams delivered and the amount of time users spent watching the service. CBS would not disclose the total number of subscribers to the service the service has amassed. Last August, which was a few months ago, 7 months ago, 2018, after Star Trek Discovery Season 1 aired, the company had 2.5 million subscribers. Okay, so they had basically a third of what PewDiePie has. CBS All Access will mark its 5th on-air anniversary in October. Mark emphasized the portfolio approach that CBS takes with All Access, offering a bundle of advertising supported channels, including the CBSN news service, CBS Sports HQ, and newly launched ET Live, focusing on entertainment news. Is anybody watching that? What's ET Live? Is it actual? God, remember when Entertainment Tonight used to talk about movies?
Yeah, not anymore.
Ron Hendren and Dixie Watley. You remember Ron Hendren
and John Tesh and
Oh yeah, Ron Hendren and Dixie Watley were the first hosts of Entertainment Tonight, by the way. Or first or second. I was very young. I watched it all the time. They used to do. Listen, I found out about Big Trouble in Little China from Entertainment Tonight. That's how cool it used to be. CBS All Access also has a local component that sets it apart from other streaming services via the participation with the vast majority of CBS network affiliate stations. CBS All Access Foundation of offering access to big live events via CBS, such as this weekend's Super Bowl. Yeah, you think that's got something to do with it? Do you think that might have something to do with the subscriber growth? Because you have access to the Super Bowl. Oh, I can't wait to hear the numbers after this. And the local flavor provided by CBS affiliated amounts. By the way, that's local flavor that if you buy an antenna and put it on your TV, you get it for free. You get it actually your high def is better over the air, by the way, than through a cable. Did you know that? Unique value. Oh my God. When they throw in this corporate unique value proposition for consumers, and differentiate the other SVOD services. I love it when they use acronyms and they say unique proposition for consumers. They just didn't say anything in that they just basically said we offer a service to people who want to buy it. CBS last month launched the first series of its local 24/7 news channels in New York, originating from WCBS and TV New York flagship, because everybody in San Diego loves to hear about New York news. Trust me. Los Angeles is next. Oh, you know what San Diegans love more than New York news? It's Los Angeles news. So same here in San Francisco. We love hearing about stuff from Los Angeles.
Yeah, because it's all entertainment based. There is no news.
Yep. Said some 63% of all CBS Access subscribers are 18 to 49. Hey, did you know that half the people in the world are between the ages of 1 and 100 and 1 and 200? 60% of their thing is like the demo. That's the age of people watch TV, you dipshits. The average age of subscriber is 44. Oh, they're skewing young. They're skewing young. They just said they were skewing young, and their average age is 40 fucking 4.
Well, you know, they're trying to get away from their stigma, because for years CBS was known as the old people's network.
It is.
Yeah.
That's your average age. That means there's we're skewing young though, because we're down in the 40s. And the gender mix is 52% male. Most of the viewing, 80%, is done via TV sets through a connected device. That's horrible. That is your bad news right there, ladies and gentlemen. Back that up. Not on your computer, not on your phone. Most of the viewing is still being done by those people who still sit down and watch a television. which honestly, I don't even do anymore. I don't watch my TV like ever. If I want to throw on a movie, but I'm watching it on I have a big enough computer screen or a tablet or something like that. So 80% is still done. That's why they're skewing 44. Julie McNamara, executive VP of the original content for CBS All Access, ran through the service's original series roster, which is expected to grow to 9 or 10 by the year's end. On Wednesday, CBS All Access announced a 10 episode order for the rendition of Stephen King's The Stand. Oh, that's different from what I heard. So they've ordered 10 episodes of The Stand. That's basically one season. Yep. Targeted to premiere in 2020. Wow, they better get going. She also talked up the upcoming Mark Cherry dark dramedy, Why Women Kill. Oh boy, I can't wait to see that. And the interactive crime drama Interrogation. Interactive. What is it? Choose Your Own Adventure?
Probably like Bandersnatch or something.
Okay. McNamara also discussed the growth roster for Star Trek of a Star Trek series, a limited series starring Patrick Stewart in his return to the role of Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Well, it's going to be, in his words, a 10-hour movie.
From Star Trek: The Next Generation will premiere by year's end. An adult-oriented animated Lower Decks and another live-action series top-lined by Discovery co-star Michelle Yeoh are also in production. Are they in production? That's a key word there. McNamara said that All Access team is mindful of the risk of flooding the Star Trek market. Each show must stand on its own. We've already heard this before. And it's undeniable only when the vision and execution make the undeniable additions to the world.
Undeniable, yep.
Okay, that makes all right. So they announced at this meeting, folks, they announced a premiere date for Twilight Zone, which was April 1st. Yep. They announced the third season for the Good Fight. They announced Stephen King The Stand. They had every opportunity to say Star Trek Discovery will be getting a season 3. So you couple them not saying anything with Anson Mount's bizarre tweet, which could be nothing. Okay, I understand that. It could be nothing. To my insider telling me, the one I talked to, telling me that no decision has been made yet. I have another one that says, oh, where's the decision's been made? So yeah, I don't know. And it being really expensive, like insanely expensive. I don't know, folks. I think it's interesting. I think they are waiting. Here's what I think. This is purely my speculation, Susan. They're waiting for Spock to hit the screen.
What do they think that's going to do? Honestly.
I don't know.
I mean, at this point, that's kind of like throwing something against the wall and hoping it sticks for them at this point. I mean, instead of doing the spin-offs, why don't they just focus on trying to get this show right? Instead of just throwing out Michelle Yeoh getting her own thing, an animated series.
Well, I think that really lends to it. I don't think they plan to get this show right. I think that's why the spin-offs, honestly, it would make sense. For the Michelle Yeoh, if you cancel Discovery and went with the Section 31, you could still use some of the characters, repurpose the sets. You could save a lot of money.
But will people watch it?
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
it's just a sci-fi show with Michelle Yeoh that's calling itself Star Trek. Star Trek is not spies running around and the freaks are more fun. That's not why we watch Star Trek. Star Trek is not a space opera. I know some people will argue with me on that one, but it's not. It's more like a space play. All right. It's something that really needs to breathe. What was that?
It's a morality play, at least the way Roddenberry did it.
Yeah. But it's made for episodic television. It's really, it's made for, like, honestly, that's why I dial it back a little bit. They've gone way too far, and it's.
That's what I was saying with you're absolutely right. It's an episodic show. It's not meant to have this convoluted arc that continues every single week. Star Trek was about episodes, and the characters did reoccur, like Q came back, and Harry Mudd came back in the original. Yeah, you had reoccurring characters, but it wasn't like a soap opera that continued. It was never like getting into Janice Rand and Captain Kirk and what happened with them. And this is what Discovery's doing, and it's only muddling the waters and making it worse than what it is.
Mm-hmm. So this is the article I went to earlier. I'm like, hey,
it's you.
And I scrolled down. I'm like, whoa, ha ha! Look at that. Nice. Thanks, guys. I just wanted to give them a shout out. Bounding into comics. Good job. We're going to get back to the chat. Where did my chat go? Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. I'll find it again.
Idiotic Tirades agrees with us, says they think each episode should be self-contained. And Digital Dan, yeah, I may be whining a bit. And, that's your prerogative. That's your opinion. It's also my opinion. I don't want it to go back to 1969. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is let's keep it simple. Let's not get too convoluted. There's a difference between wanting that and going back to 1969. So sorry. Under the current team of writers, Jodie says, no, thank you. Honestly, if it were some kind of Cold War backdrop between the Federation and the Dominion, that might be interesting. Very good point. Very good.
Ha! We're demonetized already.
Why?
I'm not surprised. It's fine. I haven't seen our notifications go out in forever anyway, so let me just fix that real quick.
What I'm not understanding is, what would they demonetize for? We're not talking anything like gory, bloody.
We're being critical of CBS.
Oh.
That's exactly why. One of their advertisers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's whatever. It usually doesn't happen very much around here. That's why it's kind of weird. So I did want to get to the Buffy reboot real quick. This is such a horrible idea. I mean, Buffy only works because you had to be into Joss Whedon. It's not like, especially today, the dynamic is so, it's gonna be another CW chart. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna turn into what it spawned, which is kind of funny in a way.
Well, they're getting away from,
but it's gonna be a hot mess.
Yeah, they're getting away from the reboot term, because at first it was a reboot, and they got a lot of backlash from the Buffy fans. So now they're determining that it is time for a new vampire slayer, and that they're not trying to replace Buffy.
That means she has to die.
I don't know what they're doing with her. I do know from that, from what you said about that article, that Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's not even aware of what's going on, because they asked her if she would come back. She's not interested in coming back. At New York Comic Con, David, and I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize, Boreanaz, yes. He said that he's all for the reboot because he does not want to play Angel again. He doesn't want to go through that. And Allison Hannigan said she hopes that they get it right. She hopes that they do justice. But the way that they're doing this is there will be another Slayer. She's going to be African American. At least that was what they initially proposed.
Will she be called Buffy?
No. They're staying away from Buffy. I don't know what the name is, okay, but it's going to be a new, according to the show.
It just sounds like a Vampire Slayer show. Okay. And it's just going to take place in the world. Okay. So it's like a sequel.
Yes, that's what, because they originally said reboot, and all the fans were like, hell no.
I was there. I was one of them. Yeah. Original Buffy, the Vampire Slayer star Sarah Michelle Gellar says she isn't involved with the upcoming reboot. I don't know anything about it, honestly. She told The Wrap. I think it'd be a great story, but I'm glad it will get told, and I hope that people will watch it. But I've told my story with it. By the way, folks, don't believe one word of any of their, I don't want to be in a Buffy reboot. I don't want to be any part of it. If they came out and said, we want Joss Whedon to direct a Buffy movie, and we want to get the original cast together, you're all going to make about 10, 20 million per. They're all going to show up. Believe me. Trust me.
And Joss Whedon is going to be a big part of this, supposedly.
I think it's great for the story. While Geller won't be returning as the Slayer anytime soon, the actress said Sunday revisits Scream Queen roles. I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream 2 when she appears in the first ever Olay Super Bowl ad. Okay. For me, the beauty, whatever. I don't want to read about that. People ask me about being pigeonholed and what it makes me laugh a little bit. I'm being pigeonholed as a superhero. Am I being pigeonholed as an ultimate villain? Honestly, I feel so lucky that so many different things. Yeah, she's happy about it. Yeah. But I don't see much about Buffy. Trapped as a showrunner, Monica and Breen. Alias Age Shield said when announcing her involvement with the project, there is only one Buffy. Before explaining the reboot isn't a replacement. Before I came here as a writer, I was a fan. For 7 seasons, I watched Buffy Summers grow up and find love, kill that love. I watched her fight and struggle and slay. There is only one Buffy, one Xander, one Willow, Giles, Cordelia, Oz, Tara. Yeah. They can't be replaced. Okay. Joss Whedon's brilliant, and she's not, and this is Joss Whedon's baby. So somebody else is taking it on, so it won't feel like it at all, actually. Let's just embrace it. That's what David Boreanaz says. Yeah, I probably won't watch it. I have no desire. It looks like it's going to be one of those current year TV shows that's going to be filled with freaking politics and super duper SJW. So no thanks.
I think that's where it's going with it, honestly.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah. Have fun with that.
And honestly, I don't know if many of the Buffy fans will turn out for it.
None of them will. I am yeah. No, I think people are just over that anyway. I mean, the nostalgia for that hasn't kicked in yet. It needs a little more time.
For Buffy?
Buffy, yep. It hasn't been 20 years since it got canceled, and it needs time. There's no 90s nostalgia I mean, there's a little bit, but it hasn't kicked into full gear yet. It needs another decade, a few years to a decade before people start diving in. We're still in man, this one's lasted a long time, but we're still in the 80s nostalgia. So,
well, and it's interesting that Sarah Michelle Gellar said, when asked about all that, and she said, it's clearly I'm older, which is a very wise thing for her to say, because she's 40, I guess, or close to 40. So, yeah, there's no way she's going to be playing the Slayer unless she's a mentor or a Slayer's mom or something.
Well, I mean, she could be an older Slayer. She could. Right. I mean, she's not that old. Okay. I mean, listen, Robert Downey Jr. is running around. He's like 60. So. No,
wait a minute. No, I think he's only a year older than me.
He's pushing 60. No, he's like, I thought 57.
No. He's only 54.
Oh, 54? I thought he was older than that. I thought he was like my
I guess technically it is pushing. It is pushing.
60. It will be in a couple of years for sure.
Yeah, damn it.
I'm not gonna have time to read this review. My chat keeps going away. This is weird. You guys are still there, right? Hang on. I'm gonna close out some windows. Let me close out.
Why don't you just get the finer points of the review?
Well, I gotta get my chat back first.
Oh yeah,
Why don't you read a couple chats while I'm doing that?
Sure. Jodie says, honestly, I think vampires and werewolves, let me find that again. Mine's jumping. Okay, here we go. Honestly, I think vampires, werewolves are a bit played out at this point. I'd much rather see Dresden get another chance or Constantine before Buffy. Well, you're not alone. A lot of people want to see Constantine again. They'd love to see that.
A good, proper Constantine would be the next Buffy, and that's part of the problem. Buffy was fun, and I'm sure somebody in the comments is like, save it, okay? I've watched all the Buffys, read all the comics. Yes, they were of their time. Yes, they were of their time. Yes, they made political statements, but they weren't freaking SJW. Okay, because if they were even back then, I would. There wasn't even an SJW back then. But if there were, it would have annoyed me, and I wouldn't watch it. But they're gonna go heavy on it because it's working. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be like Supergirl. That's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be just like a completely annoying show. And no thanks.
But honestly, how is all this working? Because it seems to me everything that I see is it's not working. So who is it working for is the question.
It's it's obviously making some people some money. Some people still love it, and there's a lot of people out there that, hey, at least will watch anything superhero, watch anything sci-fi. And I was at that point for a while. I'm just I can't stand the shows anymore. They're just terrible, and I can't watch it just because there's a costume that I was loyal to or a brand I was loyal to. I can't tell you how many times I hear about it. It's at least it's Star Trek. Somebody put in a super chat, and bless their heart. I don't mean to judge them or anything, but when they say, I know it sucks, but I'm going to watch it and pay for it because it's better than no Star Trek. No, it's not. You're actually damaging your brand. Star Trek Discovery is retroactively damaging your brand irrevocably. Like, it's going to do permanent damage. And it might, I think, honestly, it's already done that. I think last episode already did that. And I was watching, I usually don't do this, and I'm not going to say the YouTubers, all right, but I'm watching some pro and mid-level Discovery YouTubers, and I saw them struggling. That was a pretty good episode. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the Klingons were dealt with great. I'm like, wow.
Well, are they doing that because there's an outside interest that they have to satisfy?
No. The people I watched were well, okay. One of them, yes, for sure. Absolutely 100% for sure. The other one, and that's why I'm not going to name them, but the other one, yeah, they're fans. You know what? And again, no judgment on them, but man, the mental gymnastics you saw going on. You saw the smoke coming out. You're like, you are kidding me. You like that episode? Yeah, I mean, you got to be joking.
If they like Discovery, okay, and there's nothing wrong with if you like Discovery, okay, but if you like it, can't you still be critical when an episode isn't well done?
Some of them were. I mean, not everybody across the board. There's another YouTuber out there. I'll give him a shout out again. James Hancock. Geeking out with James Hancock is a very fair dude, like extremely fair dude. So, Mark Zickery used to work on Star Trek. Doug Jones is working on his show right now, and he came out against it. So there's no debate in my mind that Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, there's no doubt it is a bad television show. Forget the diversity casting and all the politics and the freaking Klingon feminism. It's just a crappy show. Yeah, they got a couple things right. Yay. One Klingon kind of looked like a Klingon.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. All right. They had a bird of, they had a bird, D7 bird of prey. A hologram of one. Yay. Okay. They fixed a couple of things. What did Trekyard say? Trekyard said, well, I don't know if this fixed it or not. There's pink blood and red blood. Yeah, that's how deep in the weeds Trekyards go. Good for them. Because there was the pink blood from Star Trek Undiscovered Country, and then there's red blood. And I had no idea that was a controversy, but apparently they fixed it by showing Klingons having both kinds of blood. I'm like, well, is that really fixing it? I mean,
no, it's doing it to pacify people.
Yeah, listen, I sympathize with the writers when we're getting down to pink blood, red blood. I think that's getting to a ridiculous level with canon. No, you do not have to adhere to that. I am not a canon purist. But Spock, yeah, I mean, that you're messing with Spock. You're messing with one of the greatest characters in the history of television, storytelling. I'll go all the way back. That's mythology. Okay, Spock is Apollo. It's Zeus. It's fucking mythology.
It's mythology.
And sure, you can do alternate, version and stuff, but Star Trek Discovery IGN review. Let's see if I can pull that up. But what they've done.
Mary Highland says, was holograms ever in use in regular Star Trek? Like, was that ever a thing on TNG, TOS? Well, on TNG, yes. Not on the original series. They didn't have that. DS9 and Voyager. Voyager, yes. DS9, my memory is escaping me, but somebody in the chat will probably say.
Adam, hang on a second. Adam Wolford, $2 at the end. They unlock the Slayer powers. They did, but all those Slayers died in the comics, which are canon. Yeah, they all got killed. At least most of them. I don't know. Maybe a couple survived. I thought they all got killed. Yeah. The comics are really good. So what were they saying about that? Sorry, Susan.
Oh, no. That's okay. They just wanted to know about the holodecks. Where were they used? And I said pretty much everywhere except for TOS. They didn't have them on the original series.
Yep.
And somebody, thank you, Dragon Bricks, for saying DS9 had the mini hologram in the Defiant. Thank you for that. I just couldn't think of where that was.
Yes, it was DS9. No, because honestly, I wouldn't have remembered that, but Trekyard said it too. The first time it was used was DS9, and I wouldn't doubt those guys. Adam Wolford, thank you for the $2. I'm pretty sure all the Slayer, because they, I don't know if you read the Dark Horse. You probably did, Adam. The Dark Horse comics are really, really good, and they had the group of Slayers, and then they all got slayed. At least most of them did. It's been a decade since I read that comic, so. And Dawn was giant, or no, she was giant and all fucked up. It was pretty funny. And Buffy could fly, and her and Angel had like superhero sex, and they made a sonic boom. It was pretty funny.
Mr. MG Tao says, would we watch an all-male reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
That would be funny. I would be behind that. I think that needs to be an Indiegogo. Biff the Vampire Slayer, yeah. And it's parody, so you can do what you want. No, I think we should just take all the female icons and sex swap them. Ethan Van Sciver's doing Rainbow Brute pretty soon. I'm behind that. That's awesome. What does Mako said? DS9, they only used the DS9 hologram in one episode, and it wasn't like they used it all the time. No. So they're going to that screen comment that they made last episode. How do you feel about that? Because a guy made a comment that only Pike and some old lady are the only ones who use viewing screens anymore. And this is a decade or 8 years before Kirk. They got some splaining to do. I think they're gonna fuck with the timeline. That's what I think. The Discovery in that short trek was out in the middle of nowhere, 1,000 years in the future. I think they're gonna mess with the timeline. There's a big debate in our original recaps about the holodeck being on the animated series, and we had a lot of people going back and forth saying it's canon, it's not canon. Well, Gene Roddenberry said it wasn't. You can take that wherever you want. Star Trek review, point of light to remain Klingon. And finally the King, did I miss a part? Did he start the article with, and finally the Klingons return? Not only are Laurel and Tyler back for the third episode of Disco season 2, answering some long lingering post-war questions, while also tearing up a bunch of new ones. But there are also a B and C storylines this week that keep Point of Light jam-packed and pumping speedily along, even while setting up that Section 31 spin-off series we've all been hearing about. The Chancellor and Torchbearer. I'm trying to think if is there just one thing in here. The arrival of Emperor George. Oh my God, this is long. Gotta love the Klingon version of previously on Star Trek Discovery when they did that in Klingon. That kind of was good. Yes, the Klingons have hair now, and some of the designs, like L'Rell's, are clearly been modified to be more in line with traditional Klingon look. Yeah, they had one Klingon that actually did look kind of like, I wouldn't go so far as calling him a TNG Klingon, but it looked kind of like a Klingon. How cool was the D7 battle cruiser? It was a hologram, so it wasn't that cool, to be honest with you. It was nice to see, but looks like that bi-level Section 31 bridge on the Shenzhou set redressed, reconstructed from last season. Yes. And they also tried to make it look very expansive there, by the way. I don't think that was an accident. Maybe little L'Rell and pre-Tylerized Vok visited the cliffs of, yeah. The verdict Discovery packed a lot in this week's segment, finally giving us an update on the Klingon situation, while also advancing the Spock Burnham story and seemingly taking Tilly's guardian ghost angel plot to the next level. Each thread offered some fine moments and some emotional kicks too, continuing the season's trend of churning out really good Trek. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, do you expect anything less from IGN, folks? IG effing N. Yeah, I'm gonna like right there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like it's like arguing with a wall. I have no interest in it.
The social issues that they brought up in the article, it's boring and tired. You know, a woman that no one thinks she can do the job, and the conflict between her and Tyler is, you know, she chose work over their child, and can we get something else? I mean, these are all old, tired, cliched storylines at this point.
Is that how did they equate that her giving up her baby because it was a liability? That choosing work over your child? Did they really make that conclusion? They need to look at history. Look at history, please. Boy.
And then there was one line that killed me though, that Michael and whomever solved their problems through tears, science, and friendship. I thought, oh, face.
What does it say? Yeah.
It's Molly Ringwald and, you know, Ducky, and they're, oh gosh.
Oh, dude, I keep popping up with another window. I'm lame. Okay, wait. Tears. Yeah. Oh my God.
And friendship.
I'm gonna put that on the back of my Disco Suck shirt. It's got to be on the back. Tears, science, and friendship.
I'm just like, really? When I saw that, like, it just jumped out at me, and I'm like, man, this is bad. And it's just, wow. How did they get the Breakfast Club in space? Now that's what that is.
Oh, I want to solve this problem with bullets, booze, and suicide. I don't know. What the hell? Fuck. Tears, science, and friendship.
I want Seth MacFarlane to write that in the Orville somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Can we add him on that? I'm sorry. Oh, my God. Scott Kalura. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something that was not nice. It was one of the funniest. Okay, so I'm going to tell a story, and I'm going to use what my friend Akemi said is a horrible thing, but it's a funny story. When Akemi said it was, Akemi is a good friend of ours, and she's half Japanese, so she's really sweet, nice lady. So she's on the phone with one of her friends, and he's crying to her about a breakup. And I see this sweet, nice, half Japanese girl go, Mike, I want you to put your hands down your pants and make sure you still have a set of balls, because you sound like a little bitch. And it, like, we had never heard her cuss before that. We're like, what the hell was that? It's one of my favorite stories. I guess you had to be there, but it was funny.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Put your hands down your pants.
Make sure you still got a set. I loved it. Yeah, IGN folks, they don't have a set. They don't. It's okay. Oh my, I'm already demonetized, Joseph. So fuckity do. Happy fucking birthday, Susan.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna give some proceeds tonight towards the Susan birthday fund. So thank you for the super chats, ladies and gentlemen. I'll make sure that they go her way. My little mushrooms magic, right? So somebody took some shrooms. Somebody listened to the Joe Rogan podcast. They saw Paul Stamets in his little mushroom hat. They named a character after him. Listen. I might have done my share of idealizing drugged out people. Okay, I used to be really into Timothy Leary for a long fucking time, and William S. Burroughs.
Oh wow, yeah.
Both complete shitheads in life, but like, decent writers. Name a kid after him, name a dog after him. Don't wrap your Star Trek episode like something that's, not super science based, but it does a decent job. Okay. I mean, it's inspired a few scientists. That's for sure. But the mycelium network is the dumbest idea ever. And that stuff still is loosely attached to our good friend Anas Abdeen, who I believe got back to us about that. Let me check. I thought I saw a message from him. I have a. So the plan is I have an interview. I do a video. I drop it the next time Star Trek comes out. We dropped in Anas Abdeen interview. Yep, he got back to me. Okay, good. Such a nice guy. Justice for Anas. William S. Burroughs, Daniel Day, they all were, and that's why I don't like them anymore, because I was not aware at the time. I was all into William S. Burroughs. That's why he did many trips down to Mexico. Yep. Oh yeah, Ginsburg and Burroughs both were. I don't want to say it out loud, but what you said, Daniel. Yeah. So not worthy of our time anymore. He was also a heroin addict. Yeah, that I don't have a problem with. It's the other stuff. Take it easy, DJ D show. Yeah, we're gonna wrap things up too. We've gone very late tonight, and Susan's got a bedtime.
Somebody did want us to talk a little bit about the Orville ratings.
Oh yeah, do you want to do that real quick? Let me get the TV series finale, and we'll take care of that. Sorry. Hey, thanks for staying on top of us, folks. I do appreciate that, because sometimes I ADHD, man. What can I say? TV series. I was looking for Bill Maher ratings and I couldn't find him on TV series finale.
Really?
Yep. I really wanted to shame him on his ratings.
Well, what I liked about it is, and they added a new feature to TV series finale, is where you can look at the show in comparison to its competition. And I like that. Because overall, the ratings for the Orville, the demos are holding. There was a slight decline in viewership, but slight, because we were down from 3.176 million to 3.105 million with a 2.24% decline. It wasn't that much, okay? However, though, out of the 16 shows that they had, it's it's interesting because by 18 to 49 demographics, the Orville comes in 11 out of 16 in that category. And then for the total viewers with the ratings, they come in 12. And what's interesting is Will and Grace has 3.12 million viewers. And the reason why it's rated higher than the Orville is because their demo increased. And they went all the way up to 19.3%.
That makes no sense too, because the demo increased on watching it on television. So Orville fans are not watching their show on TV. They're watching it on computers. They're watching it on tablets. They're watching it on their phone. I don't know if watching it on TV counts your Roku or your Sling, and not as a set-top box, as a service that you share. Or do they count that? Like, is it counted as a cable view, the DVR view, or is it counted as a view at all? That's the vast majority of the people watching the Orville. They're the kind of people who hang out on YouTube, like us,
and individually, of course, Mom is going to have over 8 million viewers. A Million Little Things on CBS was number 2 with over 5 million. The Orville is beating Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it's still.
I think the Orville exists on its own. I think it doesn't really matter. I think if it performs and Seth wants it, as long Fox is still Fox. Okay. So that whole Disney fucking deal being down by January, didn't we hear that? It was going to be January 1st. It's June. It's going to be more like July. It's got a long ways to go. So Fox is still Fox. So the people, and it's going to be Rupert Murdoch now has a seat on the board at Disney. So unless the Fox people leave, I think he's fine. Unless it takes a complete shit. I think it leveled out. We got to see how it goes. It's maintaining its viewers. Now,
she's steady. It's steady. It's steady. The thing that nags at me though is it's not doing as well as it could be doing. And once again, it begs the question because it's interesting. Because I see all over social media that people are not liking STD and they're vocal about it. And some of the people I've seen are not the recognizable names. They're not people that we know. They're other people from different places that don't like STD and they're vocal about it. And what's interesting is the Orville has a fan base that loves the show and they're out there saying it. But much like some other shows I've known, it's like, well, where are they? Like you said, they're not watching their TV. And the problem is Nielsen only measures butts and seats. But the streaming, the +3s and +5s, they come later. And they do count. And if you watch within those windows, it'll count toward the Orville, toward their ratings.
Now, where can we see the
+3 and +5s? This is the thing. It takes a while for them to come in because of the services that have to report. And there's one site that you can see them in because I used to get them for Ash versus Evil Dead, but they're very sporadic. And I think it's called Zap It, TV Zap It.
There's got to be some pay service out there that the media can pay for. There's no way they're just getting it off a tease. Is it like a monthly service?
Well, a lot of people are doing the SVOD service, and that's like why Netflix started reporting, and Stars does SVOD, and that's where they can look at the views on demand, whatever. So that's how they do it. And I think, some of the media probably can pay for a service to get those figures.
SVOD. I'll have to look that up. Well, yeah, I was going to look for a consolidated Orville numbers. I'm sure somebody's got them for an episode.
Just for about the Hulu numbers and Amazon, not yet. That's just the thing. That's what we're talking about now. It takes a bit for those things to report. And unfortunately, the Nielsen's are very antiquated, and this has been something I've been talking about for 2 years now, where they actually want you to sit and watch the show when it airs. And when you're busy, when you're doing other things, you're going to DVR it, and that's how it goes. But with the DVR, if you watch it between the windows of +3 and +5, which means 3 days after it airs to 5 days after it airs, it counts toward the ratings and the views.
Variety has it. Here we go for last week. That doesn't tell me shit. It tells me nothing. It's a bunch of percentages and da 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 da. It doesn't give me a total number.
Doesn't give you anything like that.
Nope. AFC Championship on CBS had 16 million people watching. So that's a lot of people. I think that had a lot to do with CBS's good numbers there.
I don't understand how can they lump in the AFC Championship with
easily. They needed. Listen, God, I hate to sound like this, guys, but they're watching videos. These videos are getting attention. They are. Trust me, they are. Especially when one hits like 100,000 and stuff like that. Yeah, that they know. They fucking know. So I don't know. It kind of actually gives me a little tweak in my stomach, and not a good one. That I am just alone in my room making a video, and not that I'm scared of them or anything like it. It shit gets real. Like when I go to a website to find news and I see one of my videos there, shit gets real. You're like, fuck, and then I think about my sources and I'm like, I'm trusting these people, but I covered my ass pretty well in there. So, and I also am in contact with my lawyer again, my lawyer buddy. So that makes things,
that's probably a good thing.
Very fucking good thing. Yeah. So I did find out that allegedly doesn't cover you for shit. So don't ever say allegedly. Doesn't mean anything. My opinion, I think that's what you need to say. The Orville looks safe for the renewal. They got the numbers. STB does not. I think the Orville is safe because the same people were saying the same thing last year. Rick Marr 209. Actually, JP at Egotastic Fun Time actually did a video on it. And people were saying the same thing. And I remember talking about it the last 2 episodes. It got renewed during the season, right? During its season, like towards the end.
Normally,
do you remember when it got renewed?
Yeah, I think it was, they heard about it in their season. And I know at this time of the year when shows air, typically in March, they'll hear something.
I'm trying to remember when it got renewed. They announced it November 2nd. So that was into its 7 episodes into their first season. They made the decision. So, and usually the decision's made by the 4th episode. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's right or not. So I think we will find out with Star Trek Discovery and the Orville in the next 3 weeks. The Orville's taking a break. I think there's for the Super Bowl for some reason, because
it's not on this week.
It's on a Thursday though. Super Bowl's not on a Thursday.
No, but for some reason they're not on until the following Thursday.
Okay. I hate it when they do that. Hey, that'll be an easier night for me. I won't have to do the double creature feature. Speaking of creature features, I'm going to do a special video on this that'll show up on my channel tomorrow morning. I am on creature features tomorrow at 10 p.m. I thought it was the 12th. I could have sworn he said the 12th, but it was the 2nd. So if you go to creature features, hey, could one of my mods get the creature feature channel and put the link in the chat, please?
If you guys are also on Facebook or what have you, and you're in our group, I posted it on Nerdrotic podcast group. You'll find it there. If you're on Twitter, I posted it on 2 of my Twitter accounts. where you can see Gary with this, and I also posted it on my Instagram as well.
Yeah, and it's in the community. Thank you very much, Susan. And it's in the community section for YouTube. I mean, it's like it's there, and I'll post it again. So it's 10 p.m. I'll be in the chat for the whole thing. So tomorrow night I'll be in the chat. Chiller is going to play. It's Wes Craven's Chiller. Yeah, it's a made-for-TV Wes Craven movie. What was that?
One of his lesser-known films.
Well, there's a reason for that. It's on public domain now, so
it's schlocky fun.
Yes. Spock, your beard betrays you, Mirrorverse. Oh yeah, by the way, that spore that landed on Tilly, I forgot was a Mirror Universe spore. Yeah. Oh, and the extremist Vulcan logic extremists bombed a library. And it scared Michael Burnham, so she ran away. Spock was able to find her from the Red Angel. Spock is deeply wounded by Michael Burnham, so he's jealous of Michael Burnham and resentful. Spock devoted his life to logic. Doesn't talk about his little sister because he's jealous and resentful. An evil spore. Mary Highland. Yes. Oh, you're just talking about within the show. I thought you were talking about the whole show. Both. Why deny it? All hail logic extremists. I know. That goes right with the extreme. I'm a casual extremist myself. But I'm very extreme about my meditation. Sleeping. I'm extreme about sleeping. I'm a sleeping extremist. Yeah. Vulcan logic extremist is a thing. Hidden Wiki, it is a thing. It's an actual motherfucking thing. So yeah, some shitheads in the writing room probably sounded like that sounded super edgelord. We'll have people who are so dedicated to reason that they'll blow people up for it.
Wow.
Violence is illogical. It's only needed as defense. Now, if they wanted to play with the fact that Vulcans were not outwardly racist, but quietly, I mean, that would have been way more believable than fucking logic extremists. Everything's cringe about this show. Lock the coal. Do you really have a Star Trek uniform like that?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No. That was actually done by a very talented artist friend of mine. He's like a wizard with Photoshop.
Awesome. Mako, that is such a great. I mean, like, I was trying to wrap my head around that one because you know what? Sometimes, hey, I don't know everything, so I'm like, okay, how could we possibly have a logic extremist? Because there's going to be some guys. Because with Star Trek, there's always some guy going, well, actually, in episode 3 of the 3rd season of The Next Generation, they did talk about logic extremism, and no, fucking no. How is a suicide bombing logical? There was a logical extremist suicide bomber in season 1. And it's like, I blocked that out of my mind because it gets overshadowed by Sonar in Space and Mikey Spock and Lorchestration and everything we had. But goddamn, that's the dumbest fucking thing. That's as dumb as Sonar in Space.
Yeah, it's a dichotomy that makes absolutely no sense. Although someone did point out to me, though, that terrorism is logical.
Terrorism is logical?
Yes.
No.
Because to the terrorist, this is the way it was explained to me. Because in the terrorist mind, it's logical. So therefore,
okay. I'll let you finish, and I'll tell you why.
No. Go ahead.
Rationalization is not logical. What they are doing is rationalizing. What a terrorist does is rationalize what they do. That's not logic. I convinced myself to do it. It is not logical to kill yourself or kill others for a cause. No, that's a desperate move. That's a desperate move. That's when all logic is reason. No. Rationalization and logic are two different things.
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion.
Yeah, bring it on. Strategy logic. That's like saying hope is a strategy, because it's not.
And well, for some
I
people,
hope I get a job today. I'm going to stay at home all day, but I hope I get a job.
For some, it is a strategy. It is a strategy.
It is. They used a suicide bombing in BSG and New Caprica. Yeah, they did, Joseph, and it wasn't logical, but it was really good for that show. That show, absolutely, it fit for that show. But see, and almost, do you think Star Trek Discovery is actually trying to be a little BSG too? Maybe they are. And they shouldn't be. No, that's so wrong. Yeah, it's just not Star Trek. And even listen, it was a little heartening to see some of the defenders going, man, this was a giant step back. And how many people now are saying season 1 was very flawed? The most. And what was I saying during the recaps? I'm like, once your nostalgia wears off and a little time passes, reality will set in. It will. Listen, it's because I've been through it too. I've loved something that was terrible. Like the prequels. I convinced I like all of them, and then a few months later, I'm like, God, they sucked. I got real, and it's okay. It's sometimes people get their self-worth wrapped up in a TV show, and it's not healthy. It's not good. Yeah, it sucks. Logic Extremist is dumb. Spore Drive is dumb. Yeah. Cough, Star Wars, cough. I know, right? Out of the Star Trek multiverse, I have to say STD is the reverse. It's the reverse. You're right, Jesse. Absolutely right. All right. We're gonna did I show the Patreon video? I can't remember now.
No, you have not.
I didn't. I'm gonna show it. And then we're gonna go. But thanks for tuning in. I'm going to keep talking while we're presenting the Patreon video here, and thanks to all the Patreon. Yes, I know I need to update it. So again, I want to talk about hashtags and stuff. So that came up this weekend. There's hashtags, and there's groups around hashtags. There's like there's I believe there's not my doctor who. I honestly don't know enough about them. So I was just made aware a week or two ago, maybe. I think I knew about it through my friend Joe, just plain Joe. He's awesome. But I didn't know it was like a thing. You know what I mean? I just thought it was a hashtag. That's all it was a hashtag, but I guess it's a thing. Here's my thing with things. And I, as somebody who was an observer of Comicsgate, still is an observer with Comicsgate, has some friends in there, some people I support and stuff. It went through a rough patch because of the hashtag. And I think fully associating yourself with one hashtag allows the other side to pin you in a group. And that's not something I want to do. So I can still support one and not be, fully listen. I got to see what it is first, because it could be bogus. It could be filled with a lot of things that happen with Comicsgate. Is a lot of people from the other side came in as pretending to be Comicsgate, and it got into this weird high school-y kind of thing that I didn't want to get involved in. It sucks, and it kind of it really derailed something that could have been good. I know what some people think about Comicsgate. I just recommend you do your homework, because it started out as a consumer movement. And it's still around, and there's still people fighting a fight, and they're trying to save comic books when very few people care. Like EVS is out there doing that stuff. He's still trying to do it. But yeah, there's a danger associated with that. So I do my own thing here. I'm in my room. I do my own thing. And I love Bulls Trek and Clownfish TV. El Patron and SC Reviews, and Tharies is out there, and just plain Joe's just started a channel, and he's doing some videos, and I highly recommend everybody do that. Start your own channel instead of a hashtag. Start a channel We need more people making videos about Doctor Who. That's how you show support. And that way people can actually hear your voice, your actual voice, instead of just being an anonymous thing to, you could still be anonymous by all means. I kind of recommend it. But it's better than a hashtag in my opinion. So, not dissing the hashtag, not saying I don't support it. I don't know enough about it at this time, so I got to look into it. But yeah. So yeah, and sometimes I miss stuff. Especially, I was just talking to Susan about this. Like, I see just a huge long thread. I can't I actually tried on that one, guys, with the Not My Doctor one. I spent an hour trying to go through that thing, and I'm like, I couldn't make heads or tails of it. I didn't know where it started. I didn't know where it ended. Saw a couple things in there that I'd like to address, though. Not naming names, but somebody saying that I am required to shout things out. I am not required to shout anything out.
Why? Yeah.
I just want to make that 100% clear. If you ask nicely, I'd be more than happy to do it. Really. But like throwing out requirements at me, no. Peace out. Yeah, I'm required to pay my bills and take care of my family. So, and I appreciate people shouting me out and stuff, but it's like, you got to look at it this way. If I don't know you're shouting me out and I don't know what a hashtag is and I'm not aware of anything, somebody can't get on my ass for not knowing about it. So that is there. Ronald D. Moore commented, "We assume Vulcans crushed the life out of this dissident movement like the narrow-minded, pointy-eared, what is that, Rick? Oh, I can't. Reactionaries. We all know we are. AOL chat 1997. Captain Destiny. There we go. Captain Destiny. By the way, CD Horde, good night to you and good night to the Wrenches. Mary Ashmead, Susan Layton at DJ Odyssey. What's up? Mako, Penn Farm Girl, DJ D Show. So what were you saying there, Susan?
No, I was just, what I was saying was the requirement got me, that verbiage. I don't understand why they felt compelled to say that.
I'm going to, you know what? I maybe misspoke. I think I'll look at it as misspeaking. I didn't take it personally or anything like that. I just wanted to, cause I couldn't make listen, that's why I do videos. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Twitter, and I'm going to save my best shit for videos. I'm not going to I'll tweet stuff but there's honestly, I think a lot of YouTubers leave a lot of material on Twitter with that they could save for over here. But because I just think it's better to talk it out anyway. And I'm a shitty writer. So that's it. That's all. I mean, I just want to address it. I'm not ignoring anybody. And I certainly thankful that people shout us out and forever grateful. And if I missed something, just get my attention. Let me know. And I would certainly, after I check your thing out, I have no problem shouting people out whatsoever. We're all in this together. So as long as you're cool, we're good. But it's there's no way. I saw some people getting stressed out. It's like, you know what? We're having fun here. Bulls Trek. I guarantee you the guy's having time of his life. Clownfish TV, they're having fun. SC Reviews, we're having fun. Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, Jeff at World Class Bullshitters, EVS, Doomcock, we're all having fun. This is all this is. I know it sounds serious, and it is serious when it comes to fan advocacy, because that's kind of what we do. I've been searching for a name. When they did the creature features, they asked me, what's your title? I don't know. I haven't never thought about it that much. YouTuber, maybe? It's kind of a dumb name. But I think
influencer.
Ugh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the term.
No. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. That's it. And you guys are fans, and we're all fans. And we got your back. That's all. Because so many people don't. Creatives don't. The companies don't. So that's it. It's a place where we can all hang out, talk, commiserate. That's it. But yeah. You know, that whole influencer thing, that's too much. Don't ever let me say that about myself, or just punch me in the mouth. You have my permission. Have a great weekend, guys. Looking forward to Exozone. Yes, next Exozone is coming soon. I think we're gonna do bi-weekly, maybe. Hell, you never know. We could do one last minute. It's I'm game. I am absolutely game to do them whenever. I am working out my music engraving of John Williams' Some of the Heroes in anticipation of next year's Olympics in Tokyo, listening to Sag Harbor's WLNG FM 92.1 in on the Tulane website. Says Donnie Pearson. I might Tulane website. I love John Williams. Space Ghost. You know what? I got a Space Ghost Migo and it hasn't shown up yet. It's been a couple weeks, Susan. Do you think I should put in a complaint? Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Involved. Yes.
Yeah. That's that. You know what? That's the only thing I reward myself with is I buy a Migo, either a reproduction one or like a vintage one, like once every couple months. And I switch it out. Like the reproductions are cheap. I don't need to have a vintage one all the time, but there's some like, you know, I'm getting my Mr. Fantastic vintage one. Yes, that's next.
Wow, there's something I haven't thought about, Mr. Fantastic.
Egotastic fun time. Mine is narcissistic bad time. CD Horde. If egotastic fun time can turn into narcissistic bad time real quick. Hey, I heard he's quitting his job to do YouTube. Hey, it worked out for me. So good for him. Tears, science, and friendship. Juan Soros, everybody, let's say it together. Hold hands. Hold hands, kids. Tears, science, and friendship, because that's the power of math, people. Yay, Tilly.
Glad I could mine that out of that article.
Dude, I really wanted to do, I know I get a copyright strike, but I wanted to like Tilly, I wanted to slow-mo Tilly's running to Chariots and Fire, because oh my God, I did it as a test on my video and that was funny. I can't use it though. Shit. Jeffrey, yes. Happy all the world is birthday cake. Yes. And a happy refrain. I don't think we've said it enough. This week's Orville was, yeah, they remade the Data episode and the Picard episode. So what? It was still good. I was entertained. Does that stop your entertaining because somebody else had the idea before? Well, then guess what? You're going to fucking hate every fucking story ever written. What's up, geeks and gamers? Yo, yo. Hey, man, I'd love to bring you on the channel this week. Shoot me a DM on the Twitter. Keep up the good work. Fuck yeah. That's our boy, Jeremy. Give it up to Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers. Doing God's work over there. Talk about a guy who doesn't hold back. I don't know about being a Brady fan, but we can talk about that. No, I like Tom Brady. I do. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Just kidding. Hey, look at that check mark, too. Think we'll ever get one of those?
Probably.
That's so proper, Jeremy. Sorry. I had to do it. Am I out of sync? I'm always out of sync. I'm better than in sync. Here, I'll just turn off my camera. It's probably because I had my video running. So we can just turn off. You can look at my glasses for a second. So yeah, Geeks and Gamers is here. That's fucking great. Go Pats. Fucking yes. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to, you know, I've kind of dipped down on the sports ball since they pulled my heart out, my team out of San Diego, Jeremy. But yeah, my wife did Tom Brady's mom's hair before she got sick. So yeah, I'm rooting for Brady. I'm right there with you, bud. Yeah, it was fucking. I don't even like talking about it, to be honest with you. Fucking fuck Spanos. You want to hear me like lay out some F words? That's a video I should make someday. How much I fucking hate Dean Spanos. That might be therapeutic. What are sports? I don't know. Sports are something that rips your fucking heart out. That's what it is. Truth apocalypse. It's like your ex-wife.
Wow.
Thanks, DJ D Show. Okay, Susan, plug your wares.
Sure. You can find me at 1428elm.com. We have a lot of science fiction and horror that we do over there, a lot of different genre things, gaming, what have you. So if you're into that, give us a visit. You can find me on Twitter at Susan on the Ledge. I'm on Facebook, and I am on Instagram at De facto Scribe.
Am I following you on Instagram? By the way, Juan Soros. Hey, I appreciate that F Spanos, man. You don't know what that means to me. And yeah, everybody, if you haven't already, subscribe to Geeks and Gamers. On the forefront of the whole fandom menace. Yeah, right there. Do it. He needs to get to 200,000. Man, dude, watching him grow was pretty fun. That was amazing. I subscribed to him. I think I saw. I don't know. Just started showing up in the feed, dude. And it was God, late December. I was at Tesla, and I would like listen to his videos like at lunchtime. So I don't know when you would release them, but I'd listen to your videos at lunchtime. And then I look down. He's like, he's got 1,000. And then all of a sudden, he's got 20,000, then 50,000. Pretty fucking amazing. Yeah. So that's inspiring shit. Okay. Susan,
yes.
I really need to get going on my Instagram.
I know
keep saying that every week.
Instagram.
Yep. All right. So screw it. What do you guys think? I should thanks, man. Yeah. Yes, you do. Big things in the work. I love to hear that. Oh my God. San Diego Superchargers. I know that song. I can't wait to see what you have coming up, dude. I can't wait. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna bail out because I'm getting tired, and I'm gonna drop a video in a few minutes. I'm not gonna wait till the morning. Screw it. So my Star Trek review is done. So I'm gonna drop that next. So you guys can watch that if you like, or watch it in the morning. And please check out Susan again at Twitter and 1428elm.com. It is a shill-free website that we like so much. I'm probably gonna be all over this episode on Rotten Tomatoes. Just not gonna lie. There's a lot of material from this episode of Star Trek. I could do another 3 hours on that goddamn TV show because it was so bad. So everybody, good night. You're the best. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Check out our Patreon. Go to nerderotic.com for our live stream schedule. Our next live broadcast will be Counterpart. So at some point, Counterpart this weekend. I've got a Orville video coming out. Got a Star Trek Discovery review coming out. Doctor Who video coming out Monday. Please check out our friends. If you go to Friends of Nerderotic on the right-hand side of our channel, you'll see all of our friends, world-class bullshitters, geeks and gamers, Doomcock, of course. Subscribe to Doomcock. And I will be on Creature Features tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Say goodnight, Susan.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for choosing us.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness.